All right, we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the live stream where Dave and Dave will be talking about Hasbro tonight. So, yeah, just welcome everybody in the chat coming in. I want to say hi to David Edge because he's watching at 1 a.m. in England. So, hi,
Oh.
David. It's great. We finally made it. So, real quick introductions. I'm David from Red Wagon Dioramas, and I asked Dave from Jersey Maniac to be my guest tonight so that we could have this discussion. And this is the first time that Dave and I are doing anything like this together, and we are complete strangers to one another. So let's see how this goes,
Mhm.
right? Dave, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit? I mean, we'll talk a little bit about who you are and kind of what you collect and why you're interested in this topic.
Okay. I am the Jersey Maniac. I collect so much. I collect Legends, Classified, Black Series. I will dabble in retro collection. Thundercats, Mythic Legions, some Legos.
Ooh,
I was
nice.
collecting the Power Rangers line. That's dead now. I was collecting the NECA Turtles cartoon line. That's pretty much dead now. So yeah, I collect a lot, and this topic is very important because I would really like to collect Hasbro lines for another 20 years or so. And if things don't change pretty soon, that's not going to happen. You
Yep.
know?
Yeah. I'll jump in. I also collect right now. I still collect Black Series. That was my main collection, I'd say, for the last 5 years. I've kind of slowed down a little bit, but I have a huge Black Series collection. I don't know, probably 500 plus figures. Um, also
Oh
collect
my
Marvel
god.
Legends. Buy a lot of Marvel Legends. Those go mostly to my my 12, 13-year-old son. But we buy a lot of those, and then I picked up a lot of the Indiana Jones, pick up a retro collection, some TVC. I've moved back into vintage Kenner Star Wars. That's kind of been my interest the last 2 years as I've kind of slowed down on some of the modern stuff. But I too am a toy collector who really cares about getting good products and good figures, and that's why I'm interested in talking about this because we want the toy companies to make good
Oh,
products so we can buy it. Right? Say hi to the chat
I
here.
lagged for
We
most
got
of that, so I didn't even hear you.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, I just introduced my collecting habits and basically said the same thing that, that I want to collect good product. That's why I offer criticism to Hasbro and that sort of thing is because I really want them to make good figures so that I can keep adding to my
Ah,
collection. Are you still having trouble hearing me, Dave?
yep.
Oh, there you are.
Let's try it.
Um,
No, I can hear you for most of it. The video kind of was causing good just dipping in and out. So let's try. We'll raise it a little. We'll try that.
yeah, 500. Yeah, 500 figure easily. I
David Edge
easily
is one of
500.
he's one of the 18 fabled UK collectors. Is that the deal? No offense, David.
He is. He is.
Nice. It's a rare find to meet one of them.
Yep. So let me ask the chat.
It's
Can
cool
you guys
picture.
hear us okay? Is there a lag for you guys listening to us? Dave
God,
says he's got
700
hundreds and
Black
hundreds.
Series. How the hell
Ooh,
do you even have that many? That's crazy. Good for
wow.
you, though. I've seen that icon before, so I think I know who that is, or I'm at least somewhat familiar.
Yeah,
All right. All right, we're good.
we're good. Okay. All
We're
right,
good.
guys. I want to play the video from Mr. Stevie just to set the context. So let me see if this works. I'm going to put in his little Instagram post because he asked for feedback. from the adult collectors. Let's see if this one works. Can you guys hear this? I don't hear any
I can
audio.
see it, but I can't hear it.
All right. Well, I'm probably not going to be able to fix that here on the fly. So, what Stevie basically says here is that he's asking two questions to the community, to the adult community, and he asks basically, what kind of information does he want? What kind of information do we, the adult collectors, want Hasbro to share with what kind of information do we want to know from Hasbro? And then part two is, what kind of information would we like to give back to Hasbro? So I thought that was the main context here. Is what are some of the things we wish we knew as collectors that we wish Hasbro would share more about? I wanted to start there tonight. Um, so let's just talk about that for a little bit.
They're never gonna tell us what I really want to know. So I'll settle for some things. For example, I want to know exactly how many of each one is made. I want to know exactly what the process is of deciding which one is made. I want to know exactly how much each one costs to make. I want to know everything. I want money, numbers. They're just not going to give us. So that's fine. Like we shouldn't hope too high with what they will tell us. But one thing that is very important, and you messaged me the other day and said, like, I want to know what Disney is doing exactly. And I think Disney is a giant part of the problem. In fact, I would go as far as to say Disney is the entire problem as far as those two license lines go.
Yeah, yeah. And we're talking Marvel and Star Wars. Those are their two biggest properties, and those are the two properties that Steve specifically is now working on. So I think that's good to
Yeah.
keep most of the discussion there for tonight.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
We can add one thing to that, though. Why? Who? What idiot working at Disney decided that we can't have any Molaram product? They canceled the Hasbro figure. They canceled the Lego. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, the man would not
yeah,
have played that role. Anyone who knows anything knows that the man would not have played that role if it was any way racist. They are all about including these sorts of groups into this stuff these days. This is very important to them. So you've taken out the Hindu, Indian, whatever you want to call that dude, you've taken him out of everything. Why? Why?
I just set up my Adventure Series figures, and I have 19 of them. I'm looking at them right now.
Yep.
They're right in front of me. I
Yep.
was like, where are the figures? Where is Molaram? And there's a couple others too. I'm like, oh, yep. And you're
Yeah.
right. You're right.
I paid for a custom. I paid $220 friggin' dollars for a custom. It's not here yet, but when it does, I'll be sure to show you in case you want
Oh,
one.
that would be. I would love to see that. Yeah.
I will. Yep. It's looking
Yeah.
good so far. But yeah,
Um,
it's just insane. It's absolutely insane. Like it goes against everything that they claim to stand for. Like, what are they going to say that making him would be a racist thing? Like, no shot. You can't even back that up with anything.
I don't know. I don't know. So
Exactly.
that is a great question though for Steve. Steve, could you tell us some of the whys? Why certain figures are not made? That would help us. It just help us understand what's going on, right? It's all these
Mm.
why questions. You know,
All these why questions.
all these why
Yep.
questions because there's lots of videos out there about the product itself, like the quality issues or the sculpt or the paint but for me, that's kind of secondary. Like when Steve asked the question, what kind of information do you want us to share? It's really for me was about why are you making the figures you make, and why do you not make the ones you don't make? And that's for definitely for Star Wars, too. So
Oh,
many.
just as bad in Legends. It's just as bad. So it's both. Yeah.
Yeah, the
If the
Collector
Disney shows were
77 is
good, the
my friend
figures would be
Chris.
better. I don't even think they would, Chris. I love Chris. He's a good dude. fucking
Yeah.
putting genies on magic carpets, and I'm like, how the hell are you gonna do that? And he's like, look at this, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
He's a good dude. But yeah,
Chris
I
might
mean,
join us
see the
a little
Disney
later.
shows, that would be lovely. The Disney shows, I don't think could possibly be good with Kathleen Kennedy involved. Like, I don't see it happening. Like,
Yeah.
do you know anyone who's like, oh yeah, Kathleen Kennedy's great? Do you know anyone? Anyone?
No. I'm not.
No,
Yeah.
no, you don't. Right? No, no. How many people do you know that despise her?
You hear it all over the internet. That's for sure. Yeah.
All over the internet, right? All over the internet. But let's ignore it though. Let's do nothing about that. Let's just let her keep doing whatever it is she's doing, because Disney's doing well, right? Their stock is,
Yeah.
like, come on, man.
So I'm just going through the chat here. You got a bunch of guys saying hi to Matt Bryant. Hey, Matt. Matt is a big Black Series collector, so that's his main thing. So nice to see you, Matt.
What's up?
And oh man, the comments are starting to come in now. All right.
Oh God,
Digital
here they come.
rendering. It would be easy to preview a figure for fans and get feedback. Yeah, you would think that's a great idea, Chris. So
You and
yeah,
no,
why don't we
God forbid.
see?
Yeah.
Like, can you think of a figure recently, Dave, that should have been tweaked better? What comes to mind?
How about Shin and Balin?
There you go. Yes. Who I
Yeah.
just happen to have right in front of me here. So,
Yeah. See, that figure is a disgrace in every possible way. Not only is he too short, he's not broad enough. Like, it's no good. Like, it's so bad. And why? Like,
those,
why?
yeah, the lightsaber color, the the bulkiness. He was a big menacing, guy, and he should have been bigger.
Huge. Yep,
And
a lot bigger. And
and
unfortunately,
I did.
Chris from the Black Series team said, like, we're human and we make mistakes. Then, I mean, shorten your
That's
process a little bit.
But, that's an answer. I actually appreciate that answer. I appreciate, like, we effed up, I appreciate that. Like, that's some
I mean,
transparency.
I do as well, but when they fuck up, it costs us money. Like, it's not like we don't buy it. And I mean, I guess some people do, and then the figure doesn't sell. No matter what, it's not good. So
Yeah.
it's not like these figures from these shows are flying to shelves. Like, how long did it take us to get Kersantin and a ton of Mandalorian characters? Forever.
Yeah.
So they're saying, like, we had the specs of the size of these two people. Listen, if that's all you've got, then just wait. Why though? This is something I don't understand, and would love to know the answer to. Why does Marvel have all of their figures street dated, ready to go for the actual street date that the merch can be released for the movies? And Lucasfilm is like, no, you can't see shit until after it's on TV. Like, what is
Yeah.
that? What like
Yeah.
what is like, I can understand for Grogu, fine. For everything else, who cares if we know that Kersantin's going to be on TV? Who cares if we know that Shin and Balin? Like, we wouldn't have known who they were. This is what they look like.
Yeah.
Oh God, they leaked. Like, there's no benefit to anyone involved for keeping that
Yeah.
information private. And then they fuck up figures. So, like,
Like, the Marvel Legends, the Wolf's was it Wolfsbane? Is that who just came out? The
yeah, they
the
just showed her.
color,
Yeah.
right? The
What?
color.
Yeah, the color. Yep.
Yeah. So,
Yep.
and that's not a big character for me. I mean, I remember her, um, but
Dude,
that's
she
something, you
completes
know.
X Factor. What do you mean
Right.
she's not a? Come on. That's a
Well, I'm not.
huge character.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, but I mean, Chris's point there was, as far as, showing the renders, like GI Joe is showing their digital renders, right? That's what Chris just put there. So
Yeah.
you kind of know what you're getting beforehand, and it kind of sets those expectations. It helps us,
Ah,
have
true.
The problem is we get pissed off when the product comes out and it doesn't meet expectations, and I feel like that's something that I wish Hasbro could help set the expectations better.
Or just don't fuck up figures anymore. Like, it's 2024. There's really no good excuse for it, you know? There really isn't. Like, did you see, I put it in my stories yesterday. Did you see the face of Airborne? The Airborne
Um,
figure that's coming up?
I saw people passing that around, but I did not take a close look at it yet. No.
Look at it. It is one of the most real looking faces you will ever see. And
Okay.
I asked Lenny, I said, like, "Do you know who made this? Like, this is absolutely incredible." And he said, "It's the internal sculptor. He's doing a lot of faces now." And I said, like, "Who is it? Like, tell me his name so I can follow him and sing his praises." And he said he's not on social. He wishes to
Oh,
remain anonymous. And I said, "All right, that's fine, but just tell him I love that guy." Like, it is so incredible. So how certain things and certain faces are coming out these days, and it's like, wow, that's terrible. Like, we see it all the time. Like the McFarlane Aquaman recently. Like, you look at it and you have to laugh at it. It's so bad. And
yeah.
yet this figure from a different line from, a company working with the same materials makes it perfect. And it's like, why can't they all be perfect? Well, they can. They just have to care that it's perfect, and they don't. That's stupid.
What? Yeah. One comment. I'm just. I. I really just want to know why. It's like what you said about it's business. That's the stuff I want to know. The business factors at play.
They're
What
not
are
good.
the constraints that are holding them back? And why can't they make better things more, more consistently? And why can't they just make more? Like, I feel like if there were more great figures being put on the market, I would be buying more figures.
Yeah, you would.
You know, I'm
You
not.
absolutely
Yeah.
would. And that's the problem, dude. So let's think about this reasonably from the business side. You're an executive at Hasbro. Are you going to look at the overall sales numbers of Star Wars action figures and think they're not doing a good job, or the demand isn't there? They're gonna be like, "Oh, the demand for these isn't there." Like, they don't care. The collectors don't care. And no, that's the farthest thing from the truth. We want what we actually want, what we yell about every single day. Who is gonna sell better? Pelimato or Darth Talon?
Right.
Who are they more likely to make? Pelimato or Darth Talon? Exactly. This
Yep.
is the problem. Like, this is the problem. The best-selling Black Series figure last year, far and away, nothing else is even close. There was actually three. We'll say three. Malgus, Malik, and Sean. What else actually sold out from Black Series last year?
Boy, I don't know.
Almost nothing. You might be able to come up with a couple more. My
Yeah.
top 5 wants for 6 inches, they would all start with Darth, Chris. Either that or they would be from the Jedi Council. Well, like, again, and they'll all sell. That's what drives me insane about it. Like, what I think should be made would sell because it doesn't look like Pelimato. Like, it's a cool looking action figure. That's what we want more. Oh yeah, the 40th Darth Vader did sell out. He's right.
Yeah, that
He
sold
did.
out.
That definitely did. Good call.
And R2, the carded R2 on the vintage
No
card.
way. It could not possible because they made it twice. So
No,
it's like
the carded version is hard to find
it
because
might
people
be, but
wanted
it
that
doesn't.
nostalgia.
But can you get an R2? Yes, because they put it out
You,
twice
yeah.
within a couple months of each other. So I'm not giving either one of you that one. No, 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 no. Not that one doesn't count. Released it twice. No. Can you believe they released 3 figures twice in the same year? Like, this is where we're at now. Like, that
What
is
was that?
insane.
Wicket, Chewbacca, and R2. Is that what
And
you're talking
R2.
about?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. All within a few months. Like, what are you doing? You think there's enough demand for any of those to actually sell them that much? Like, no shot. Not even
Yeah.
close. If you wanted to release them 5 years from now, sure, go ahead, but just put them out once.
Now, Well, maybe we get to this question later in the show, Chris, about what we want to get made, because I want to stay on topic right now about kind of what we information we wish they could share.
Yeah, get
But
on here. I wanna talk to you anyway. Get on here, you fucking weirdo with your magic carpets making great displays. Get on here.
Chris is going to come on at 9, I think.
All
So
right.
he'll join us then. And I'm going to open it up to other people too if you guys want to join in. Um, let's talk about the business side of things. I mean, what do you think about the factories? Like, is it likely that they just don't have enough capacity? Like, they don't
How's
have
that
enough factories to push out enough product? I
how's that
mean,
even possible? I mean, like, in
uh,
all seriousness, like, if that's the case, how is that even possible? How do they not have their own factories? Doesn't Mattel have their own factories that they opened over there? Why don't they do that?
and I just don't know. That's information. Maybe, maybe you could show us. Hey guys, we're running at capacity right now. Um, that's why we're limited to 200 figures a year or whatever it is. I don't know.
I
I you know, or is it a budget thing? Is it corporate saying, you guys get this much money to work with, make it profitable? Is
this
that the
this
limiting factor?
this much is definitely the right way to put it there. Because yeah, I'm
Yeah, I
sure
mean,
that has a lot to do with it.
because if that's the problem, then could corporate, hey, we have more demand, we're not satisfying demand, increase the budget for the Star Wars line, increase the budget for, I mean Marvel has a lot already, but you know,
I would so the difference with that is, I mean, there's only so many. So the thing is, you say that Marvel's is so much bigger, but it's not, because when you think about how Black Series, Vintage Collection, retro bullshit, and all the prop stuff are all coming out of
yeah.
the same budget. It's about the same. Like, they're making the same amount of stuff.
Yeah, you did a video on balancing the scales, right? TVC versus, you
Oh
considered
my
all the
god.
vehicles, and
Balance the
I
scales.
yeah.
It is the dumbest thing that they have ever come up with. Okay, listen. For everyone watching, believe me when I tell you that I talk to toy people who are making toys. 112 sells double of what 118 does. That is just fact. You can choose not to believe it all you want. It is fact. Do you think they make the same amount of any one vintage collection figure than they make of Black Series? No, they don't. They make less because it does not sell as well. Ask toy people. If you don't believe me, please ask toy people. So the scales are balanced. My God. Any other nerves you'd like to hit me with before you go
Yeah,
ahead?
I'm gonna get you on everything. Let's get the chat, see what they think about that. Um, I thought you made a good case for that on your channel when you bring in all the vehicles and the world
Oh my
building and the
God.
diorama sets that TVC gets. And again, I'm not a TVC collector. I do buy some of it, but
That's where I'm at.
yeah.
I like, and dude, I like the vehicles. Like, I love the Jabba's throne room that they made.
Oh
I
yeah,
paid for that. I love it. It's
awesome.
it's it's very cool.
Yeah,
But when you're comparing I call it dead scale, so I'm going to call it dead scale because that's what it
yeah,
is. Like, it's literally kept alive at retail by one line, or else the scale would be gone. If you
yeah.
compare any one dead scale figure to a Black Series figure, 9.9 out of 10 times, the Black Series figure kicks the crap out of the little one that's this big. It's just the way it is.
Balancing the
Balancing the
balance.
balance. Yeah.
Yeah,
And again, once I have an N1 in Black Series, then we'll talk about scales being balanced. I
that
don't
would be
know
a
if
nice
he's
ship to have.
proclaiming me of being in denial or them. I don't know.
Yeah, we're both Daves, so you gotta be more specific, Nick.
But no, like, even like, it was ridiculous. The same day Pre-Vizsla went up for pre-order on Amazon, he went up on both scales, and the little number from the Black Series was 2,000 plus. The little number on the Vintage Collection one was 1,000 plus. I've shown people that, and they're like, "No, that doesn't mean anything." Like, oh my God, come
It's
on.
enough. It means something. Yeah,
Of course it means something. Again, like, it's they don't, like, the TVC collectors are like, How come this isn't in the forefront? Because you're in your little bubble and all you talk to is other TVC collectors. So you think that's all there is. And you see Black Series figures go on clearance. Black Series is making bullshit. Like, of course it's going to go on clearance. If they made good Black Series figures, they wouldn't. It's as easy as that. What do you got? Use a spit it. Come on. Use your words. Come
No,
on.
I'm still thinking. I just wish there was more transparency on the why. Why is, why do you make what you make? And what are the it's not like we can change anything, right? We don't have any power to change anything as the
No,
fan base,
and we
but
have to because we're
it's
the ones
about,
buying them. So
yeah. Um yeah, the other factor that I'm really curious about is those partners they have, right? The Disney, Lucasfilm, Marvel partners, and then the retail partners, right? They're
these are the
all the
problem.
so
Yep.
the retail partners demand certain products, exclusives too. Um, so maybe they have to, a certain slice of that pie of their budget goes to the retail partners, and a certain slice of it has to go to the new shows and movies that Disney is putting out or Marvel's putting out, right? So that leaves how much of the pie is left for the adult fan
Right.
collector?
Right. For what we
That's one of my
actually want.
questions.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous, dude. It's
because
absolutely insane.
for Star Wars, what I want are original trilogy figures that we don't have, aliens and some of the main characters that we still don't have. That's what I'd like the budget in the Black Series put towards. Why doesn't it happen? I don't.
Would you pay? So here's something I was thinking about. Would you pay if Hasbro came out and said, we will make every single alien in the cantina over the next few years? They're all going to be fully tooled. They'll be Pulse exclusives, made to order. You have a month to order. They'll be $35 each. Would you pay it?
I would,
Me too.
be-
In a second.
because that's my main line, and I love it, and I
Yep.
would.
In a second. Jabba Denizens, same thing. Would you do that? They're going to
Yep.
make
Hmm.
everyone. I
Yep.
Jedi Council. How's that? We'll make the
Yep.
entire Jedi Council 35 apiece. I'm in.
Yeah. I threw this out and we'll talk about HasLab, I'm sure too, but as a HasLab idea.
Mm-hmm.
Give us 10 of these figures that require unique tooling and a lot of production cost and make it a HasLab because Black Series collectors want figures. So give us the figures that you're never going to make for the main line as
Mm.
a dream project. That would be a HasLab project for me.
That's
You
a
know,
great that's a fine idea, but the thing is, figures that you'll never make for the main line should not be a thing. Like it just shouldn't. Like anything
well,
that yeah.
yeah,
See, no, I guarantee you everyone who's gonna come on here is gonna say the same thing. Cantina aliens, completely worthless, meaningless characters that we don't know jack shit about. Doesn't matter, we want them all.
we want them.
So
Yeah.
why do we get nothing but stuff from the current shows, which most of which is not good and we don't really want it?
Yeah.
Jabba's palace. See, I mean, again, who do they? That's what it comes down to. Who is buying Black Series? Is mom buying it for little Timmy, or is it guys that look like us? Guys that look like us all day long. There is no like. Again, it's so much different from when we. How old are you?
I am 46.
46. I am 44. So, do
Okay.
you remember as a kid, like when your parents got home from work, like begging them to go to the store to get something, like they're like, "Oh, come on, I want a Star
Oh,
Wars
yeah.
figure, come on," or a turtle.
Yep.
Me too. Now, what can mom say to little Timmy? "Oh, I'm tired. How about I buy you 25 Roblox instead?" And he's like, "Oh,
Exactly.
okay." Like again, if you don't think that's a thing, like I'm a parent, I don't want to take her anywhere. So, like, it's when you get home from work, you don't want to do it. Oh
Yeah.
god, there are no
I used to
characters
love
that
going to the pharmacy or whatever store sold figures, and
Yep,
and I would get a $3 or $2 figure or whatever it was back in the 80s. But
yep,
yeah,
yep, and
I
now
I have
that
4 kids too, so that, and our
oh,
kids, I've got 2 kids that are my 2 youngest boys are still into action figures, but,
nice.
the older's, so, like I said, we Marvel Legends, so I do have a little bit of that, but they also love their video games, and they want to buy the new game on the Nintendo Switch or whatever it is.
Right. Right. One click, it's theirs. You don't need to leave the house. One click, done.
Yeah. Oh, great! Now everybody's telling us how old they are.
49. Nice. See, I always assume, what's funny? I was talking to
48.
someone the other day and I asked him how old he was, and he said 36. And I said,
Ooh.
that's crazy. I was like, wow. He goes,
Yeah.
why? I said, I just assume everyone I talk to is in their 40s or 50s. So here we go.
Right.
The old man at 53. Nice.
53. Who can beat Matt tonight? Huh? Eric is a friend in
We're never
Nashville.
going to get
Eric.
those.
Yeah.
We're never going to get the other Indiana Jones characters. It is never going to happen, unfortunately. I wish it would.
That ship has sailed. Unless they make
Why
another
do you
movie.
make Right, like, why do you make a movie that has, why do you make a line based off a movie that has Nazis in it? You make one Nazi, you just don't put any Nazi marks on him, but then that's it. Like, we can't make the general and just again, nobody needs the swastika because we get it. It's fine. You make the character anyway, and you just take that shit off.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. But God forbid, That's unfortunately, that's just Disney though. Like they have taken they're taking their stance on everything. They're just dragging themselves straight down the toilet. There's just
we
no
can't.
other way to put it.
Yeah, I mean, all we can do is stop collecting those figures, right? We find other things to.
No, like that. So that's where I don't like that. That I don't agree with. Like I don't like the whole "don't like it, don't buy it." I think that's really dumb. I'm going to complain about it, and so I go on record, and I want more people to complain about it, so that then someone has ammo to bring to this executive that just thinks, "Oh, there's no demand for Black Series figures." No, asshole. There's no demand for stupid ass repaints. There's no demand for just stupid women who we just saw on the Disney Channel 5 seconds ago, instead of the stuff that we actually want. Again, they're trying to force stuff. They're just trying to check their boxes. And that's not working. It's not working.
So we complain on our social media. Who hears us? Some Hasbro people, maybe some Mattel people.
They do.
They bring it up the chain of command a little bit. It stops somewhere. Does it ever make a difference?
Great
I
question.
don't know.
So now is the time. Like if it's ever going to make a difference with Hasbro, considering all of their troubles, now is the time. If it doesn't make a difference now, it's never going to. So now is definitely the most important time.
So Steve Evans, what kind of information can you give us on this? How does feedback work at Hasbro? Where does it go? Does it just stay with you and the design team? Does it ever translate into actual change in the line? Does it actually translate into budget changes? Great question.
I don't know if that is a great question. And I don't know if it's ever going to get into budget changes because like we just talked about it before, like this, like it's for it to be profitable after paying whatever they're paying for the license, which has to be so expensive. No joke. It has to be astronomical. So that definitely causes a problem, but there's just no point in making figures for the sake of making figures if they're not going to sell. Like you're basically ripping off the retailers at this point. How many of those holocron, fucking,
the light up ones.
Yeah, how many of those are at your Target right now? Mine is full. I got a full case. It came, it's still there. Like no one in the world wants those.
And GameStop too, whichever one they have Han Solo there at GameStop.
Yep, GameStop there. The amount of credit collection figures that sold at full price is probably in the double digits. Like those things sold so poorly, and they made like 3 waves.
Yep.
It's wild.
Yeah,
so
here's this comment here. I don't want to stop collecting.
I don't either.
That's it. I don't either.
That's where we're at. That's why this is what people don't understand. Like, this is why we complain, because if we just sit back and don't like it, don't buy it, nothing changes. It's so dumb that there's so many collectors out there that are like, just don't say anything bad about it. No. I'm gonna say everything that I think and feel because I would like to still be collecting in 20 years.
Hey, Dave, they're just toys. Don't take it so seriously.
Does it look like I don't take it seriously? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
that's even the more thing. I love how like the most giant page of Star Wars news actually said that. Don't take it
Hmm.
seriously. Okay, we're not taking
Yeah. It's a problem if we stop taking it seriously. It's a problem for Hasbro because
Yeah,
that means we don't care. That means we're
exactly.
apathetic and we don't care anymore because we've
Yep,
lost interest.
yep. And that's where a lot of Black Series people are. Like
Yeah.
it's like you see that they're gonna reveal stuff, and it's like, oh, like I'm just gonna be so
I
disappointed. Oh, there we go.
sorry, I just
Whereas GI
yeah,
Joe
Chris is
announces a
just
live
talking.
stream, and I'm like excited. It's like, oh, great, can't wait.
Yeah. So Chris is just making a comment here about the gender split between collectors. I'm not sure why Chris just making that point that yeah, it's guys.
I have 11,000
Yeah.
followers, and my professional account tells me the gender split. That's so I have far less than you, and my split is about the same. So no, there.
Yeah, my
Listen,
YouTube's the same for me.
how do I
Yeah.
put this? How can we put this where it's reasonable and inoffensive? Let's see. So anyone who follows me knows that I am pretty liberal. I hate Trump with a fiery passion. I think all of that is just terrible.
Okay.
Disney has taken their stance just to like it's like the opposite of Trump is now Disney. And they've just taken it
Yeah.
to such an insufferable level where it's just checking boxes and it's not, is the product good? That's lost now. Like they
Yeah.
care that this woman is going to make this Ray film and she's from Pakistan. Can she make a good Star Wars movie is all we care about. And let's face it, nobody wants to see Ray again. We would all rather that just be forgotten, that whole sequel thing. Like just get rid of that somehow. But no, there's going to be more. And again, do women care about Star Wars? Not really. Let's face it. It's not really. Do they care about action figures? Not at all. Very few. Is
Yeah,
that
you've got
fair?
your
Like, is that
percentages
offensive
that
to say
do,
that, you
but
think, or is that fair?
I bet that's offensive to some of
Sure.
the women collectors, yes. But,
How many women
um,
collectors have you seen? There's Miss German Mandalorian, there's Cintress, there's like 4 or 5. Like, if you find me them,
it's
I'll be like, "Oh, wow, look at all of them," but you won't be able to find
it's
them.
the 2% of the 98%, according to statistics. So you gotta give them the
Okay,
2%,
and
right?
and believe me
Yeah.
when I say, I would never say don't make women action figures. There's a fucking metric ton of women
Oh, yeah.
action figures that I want, so I would never say anything like that. But I don't understand, again, like, it's just the Disney, let's make stuff as divisive as humanly possible instead of caring about whether it's good or not. And that's a problem. That's why their stock is in
Yeah.
the toilet.
Well, and that's where I'm bringing it back to Hasbro. Does Hasbro have leverage there to say, "We're not gonna make that many figures from your new show. We've got other stuff where customers wanna buy. You know, we're only gonna do 6 figures from Ahsoka." Why you know, that's on Hasbro's decision. They gotta be the ones who decide what figures they make, you would think, right? I mean,
No, no, I
no.
don't. I don't think that at all. No,
Ah,
nope.
man.
If they were in charge, and so that is what we need. And this is what I have told Steve privately before. It's so difficult to be in the middle of the social. It feels like there have been, yeah, exactly. Right. Good call. He's
Yeah,
nailed it. So I've told Steve before that when it comes to Marvel and Disney, the thing we need most of all is an advocate. You cannot so we'll use poor friggin' what's her face again, Peli Motto.
Yeah.
Like any day now, Disney's going to say like, oh yeah, we need this in 6-inch vacuum figure for it. And someone needs to say, no, that's not going to sell. We need to make this instead. Is it a partnership with Disney or is it a dictatorship? Like that's what we really don't know. And
Right.
with the amount of MCU figures that come out on a yearly basis, which literally have a 0% chance of selling, zero. I just got a picture from someone. Everett Ross just hit his Ollies. There's about 60 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody was going to buy that figure. Nobody was going to buy Thor in a t-shirt. Nobody was going to buy all the Blue Guardians. No one's buying anything from What If. It is the smallest possible slice of our fan base who actually want that. And worse, it's the smallest actual slice of collectors. They might be loud, but they're small. You can always tell by the stock that's on the shelves. So why does it keep coming? And worse, all of those figures are usually newly tooled.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
The
I get
money's going to that tooling. The budget is going to that new
right,
tooling for
and
those figures
right,
that we don't
right,
want.
right,
Yeah.
right. And for what? They don't sell. Right. They don't sell. So why are they continuing to make them? It is literally insane. So again, is it a partnership or a dictatorship? Clearly, Disney does not have Hasbro's best interests in mind when they're telling them make the client. Like
Yeah.
the client was $6 on Amazon. $6.
Let's say hi here to Australia. We got Pop Culture and Plastic. Thanks for joining us, man. He says he stopped buying Black Series because figure choices have been subpar. Yep. Yep. And they're expensive down there for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Disney's lack of popularity is
Lack of
responsible for Hasbro's
popularity.
financial
Yeah,
woes.
of course.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's definitely part of it when it comes to the Star Wars side of it. Well, no, it's both. It's the whole license. It's definitely both.
Mhm. Anyway, that's information I'd like to know. I don't know if we'll ever get that kind of information, but
I don't
it would
know
help
either.
me
It'll be
understand.
interesting to what I
Yeah.
want to know. Yeah. What I want to know is what Stevie had in mind with as far as what he could tell us that we don't already know.
Yeah. I looked at that post yesterday and he had 200 individual people had left him comments publicly, and I'm sure
Good.
there's a ton more private. So
Good.
that's got to be overwhelming. But good. Yeah, good.
My comment
What's
got a
he?
shitload. My comment got a shitload of likes. Just saying.
Mhm. Yeah. Um, Here's another piece of information I'd like to know from Hasbro. I'd like to know what they think their customer base is. I'd like to know what their market research tells them.
I think they know, and they don't pay any attention to it really. Mary Jane has been I bought one and I think it's great. Any thoughts? Again, it's not a good action figure, Mr. Collector.
It,
It's
it's a good
a
representation of
plain
that
clothes
character.
civilian. That's
Yeah.
why it didn't sell. It
Yeah.
doesn't look it is. It's fine, but again, who wants that as an action figure? It's not many people. That's why it doesn't sell. Like the thing that sells the absolute least is MCU civilians. Doesn't matter who it is. That's like the
Even
lowest possible peg on what will actually sell.
even like Daredevil in the suit, which is a great
Didn't sell
show,
at
a
all.
great character.
Didn't
Yeah.
sell at all. Yes. What did you just ask me? I'm sorry. What was I just saying before I
We're
was
talking about
very rudely?
market. We're talking about market
Oh,
research.
yeah. So, right. Okay. So right. Here's how we answer that. Do you think Hasbro will ever have more collectors than they do right this second?
I think it's been going down. So I think they peaked, 2 years ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So why is anything made for the new collector in case you missed it, in case bullshit. You are just putting out a repaint because you want to be cheap and put out a repaint and you know full well that it has a 0% chance of selling. They do market research. I did a what is it called? A focus group for the Marvel HasLabs. So
Oh, you
yes, and
did?
they make you sign a oh my God, what are the letters?
And NDA.
Yes, that one. So you can't talk about it publicly, which is fine. But no, they definitely do it. And market research is now perfectly free in this regard because you've got, you know, thousands of
All of
nerds
us.
yelling
Yeah.
yelling
Yeah.
about it on a daily basis. So it's not hard to do the market research. So they absolutely do it, but they don't pay attention to it or are just overruled by the executives that need to make their millions per year instead of actually putting out good product.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Well,
know this they hired a C whatever, I forget the letters. I think it was the CFO of Harley Davidson to come over to Hasbro. What the fuck does she know about toys, Star Wars, Marvel, collecting, anything? Nothing.
yeah. I don't know. I'm not in corporate culture. I know probably some of our audience is. That's not me, so I don't have good experience with the corporate world of how that works. But
Right.
it does seem strange to me, you know. Um, um,
Again, it's numbers. Like they hired her for numbers. She might be great at numbers. That's fine. But what does she know about actually improving things at Hasbro? Nothing. She's going to look at it and be
yeah,
like, cut costs here. Well, that's
right.
going to have the opposite effect. That's going to make things worse because that's what you know. You know, just, oh, we'll trim numbers here, we'll trim costs here.
Yeah.
Never going to work. If you upped the product, if you did more, again, all you have to do, I'll say this until I'm friggin' dead. If they made what we wanted, they would have no money woes whatsoever. Everything would sell.
Let's talk about price a little bit for Marvel and Star Wars. What do you think
Mhm.
about the pricing right now?
I was okay with 22.99. I was okay with one price hike. The other one is not. And when it comes to the Star Wars side, anything that's deluxe, like we're not buying it. Like we're just not. The collective we never
Yeah,
happening. Who's paying 27.99 for a figure that big? I don't care what's in it. Like oh well, we decoed it real nice. No, I don't care. It's a
yeah,
regular figure, and you're charging me double for what? Oh, we got a
yeah.
corporate. We know. So like again, what Black Series deluxe figure sold? Malgus. That's it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
You can think all you want. They're all on sale on Amazon.
Well,
Every single one of them.
I like the deluxe figures, and I bought Doc Ondar for $45 or whatever I paid for it. I know you weren't a fan. I went out and bought 2 of them. I loved it. I bought the Endor Trooper because I wanted that, even though I paid full price for one, I got the others on pretty good discount.
Right.
But and what was the other one I bought? Anyway, I like the deluxe ones because they come with more stuff and they come with the stuff I wanna have for a figure.
So that's just
I
it. They don't though. Like they come with just a normal amount of stuff. So like Malgus
Yeah,
came with a lightsaber. Like Kersantin came with one gun.
re
Like it's
relatively speaking, the whole line. Yes, I agree with you. Black Series should be a collector line that has accessories, and it
yeah.
doesn't. It doesn't. So when
And
you
I
get a
bought them
figure
too.
that
And I bought them
yeah,
too. Let's not pretend I didn't. I did. I have all of them. But like we could have both had. Oh my God, what is his name? The dude from Rogue One, drawing a blank. What's Saul Guerrera?
what Saw Gerrera, yeah,
Yes. He's 8.98 on Amazon right now. I paid full
yeah.
price. Like how and did you too? How
Me
dumb are
too, I
we?
did.
Like what did we
Yep,
do that for? Like why would we
yep.
ever do that again? So
Well, yeah,
they're
Boba
not
Fett's
the
another
bottom line.
deluxe.
Yeah, they're not
Um,
selling. Like they're
yeah,
just they're not selling. The TVC especially, they are really not selling
those are going to half off everywhere.
everywhere.
The I
So I
got the
mean we're
Sabine. I bought the little Sabine deluxe one, but
mm,
I paid $13, not 28 or whatever. You know.
That one I wouldn't buy because of the helmet. When they re-release the nice one that they just made on the card, on the mural card, they'll release that again on another card.
Yeah.
I'll consider it then. That one looks
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
Getting lots of comments now. Everybody's riled up about price. Yeah.
The price is rough, but is also so yeah, no, it's definitely inconsistent. That I think is going to be dead now, the inconsistent pricing. I think Walmart and Target have now learned their lesson and they're not going to try to whack us for that extra couple of dollars for an exclusive. Like I think they've realized that that's not the way to do it. And that's why they still have all of those Bad Batch figures
Yeah.
on shelves, because they're charging 27, and for what?
Yeah.
Like, we don't want those anyway. They shouldn't have released those at all.
Yeah.
You know how bad it is for them when an exclusive doesn't sell out? Like, do you remember 3 years ago how we were fighting tooth and nail to get any exclusive? Like, we had to really hunt for it.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're just at every store.
Yep.
That's not good.
Yeah.
That's not
Back
good.
in 2019, that was hard. It was hard to find figures sometimes. It was really hard.
Yeah.
You had to hunt a lot.
Yeah.
And you ended up paying, buy them secondary, at higher prices.
And so that is lost. That is
Yeah.
why. So that's why they should not care about the new collectors, all 9 of them. I'm willing to
Yeah.
pay for what I want, even if I miss it. Like, that's fine. I don't go on YouTube or anywhere and be like, oh, the scalpers they bought. I mean, especially now, the production cut, I'll put it that way. The production is cut significantly now. Like, significantly. The fact that a Tiger Force 2-pack sold out in the pre-order stage at Target, the production has, and that's great. So now, though, we're going to have the reversal. First, so we went from, oh, the scalpers, oh my God, to, I'll wait for everything at Ollie's. It's fine. I'm not paying full blah, blah, blah. And now they're not going to be able to find it anywhere. And we're going to go back to, oh, the scalpers. Like, so they had their chance. The collectors had their chance and they didn't buy shit.
It's a pendulum. It swings back and forth. It's supply and demand. And it takes Hasbro about 2 years or 3 years to adjust to market conditions because they're so slow. But you're right. The next 2 or 3 years, it's going to be hard to find the figures you want at retail.
I'll find mine. I'll find mine. You'll find yours. You'll find yours.
You're going to have to hunt for them again.
Done. No problem. If that's what we got to do, I'll do whatever is necessary. I will get what I want. And so will you. And so will all of the actual collectors who are not infants. Yes, they did. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. Because they're garbage and they should not be made.
All right, here's a comment. Just because there's figures on the pegs doesn't mean nothing is selling.
Depends on how long they're on the pegs there, sir.
Yeah, I mean, certain figures obviously don't sell. The Landos and the Endor Leia. That's on.
Yep.
Been there forever.
I got a Dick Grant Loki. I got a Dick Grant Loki at 3 of my Walmarts. They have multiples for the last 2-3 years now. Like, when did that figure come out? So yes, it's a very good indicator when something is there and actually has dust on it that it's not selling.
Yeah. But you're right. The popular figures might get restocked. They certainly have been stocking better, I'd say, in the last year at Walmart and Target than they were a couple years ago. It did get better around me. It did.
I haven't seen an improvement at Walmart. Walmart is the biggest part of the problem as far as the liquidation goes.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
No. What do you mean? Explain.
So a few years ago, Walmart changed their in-store policy about clearance. Should I look at you? I feel like I don't even know where to look here. I'm looking at you like I'm talking to you, but the camera's
No, look
here.
at the camera. Yeah.
So they changed their policy to where the whole store is allowed a certain amount of clearance. So if Sporting Goods has used all the clearance for that amount of time or whatever, Toys gets none. Does Walmart care about the toy aisles? Obviously, no, they do not. So, when you have a backlog of shit at the warehouse that you have not sent to any stores because you don't put anything on clearance and you still have old What If Marvel Legends from 2 years ago on the shelves, the store count will say, I have this many Marvel Legends, I don't need more. That is why you see good shit at Ross and Ollie's and whatever. So they had the Lady Janes, the Destros, all those on the shelves forever for G.I. Joe. Then Crimson Guards go to Ollie's. Like, how dumb is that? Like,
Yeah.
if they just sent them to stores, they sell fine. So most of the liquidation you see is from Walmart. There is definitely some from Target as well, but Target puts shit on clearance. So it's not as
Yeah.
big of a deal. The
And
other
good clearance. Yeah.
absolutely good clearance.
Yeah.
The other factor for the liquidation is on Hasbro and Disney. Like, they make shit that clearly is not going to sell, and then stores can't restock. And if you can't restock, you cannot sell through all of your merch,
Yeah.
and it's going on liquidation. But mostly it is that change in Target. If you don't rotate your toy aisle like produce, never going to sell. You're not making money off that aisle.
Yeah. I just had a thought along with that. Remember Hasbro they sold a bunch. I think they liquidated a bunch of their own stock, right? All these the sales that we've had on Pulse the last 2-3 months,
Yeah,
the
that's
Hasbro toy shop on eBay,
so
even the
that's
vault, selling HasLabs, right? It's opening up when they, I just saw
yeah.
them as they're clearing out inventory.
Yeah,
And
yeah, and that's fine. I'm off. And so they didn't. So I didn't see much on Hasbro Toy Shop, but what I saw on Pulse is just clearance. Like, that's not really liquidation. That's just clearance. Like, it's just putting, like, the
yeah,
Star Killer pack, 110 down to 77. 77 is what it should have been anyway. They'll sell out now, like, at that
yeah,
price, if they didn't already. So that's clearance, and that's fine. No matter what they make, there's a chance that something could go on clearance for 100 different reasons. If you're
yeah,
making bullshit, that's going to get liquidated. If the store can't sell the bullshit, they're going to get more other product, not send it to stores, gets liquidated. So a production cut is going to go a very long way of us not having to see, oh, just wait for Ollie's. Like, it's going to be gone.
yeah,
I, for
yeah.
one, can't wait.
All right, guys. Well, I'm going to open this up because it's been an hour. And if you are watching and you have a camera and you want to join Dave and I with some face-to-face time here, message me on Instagram, send me a link, and I'll send you the StreamYard link, and you guys can join in. So I think we can have 6 people on at a time with the free StreamYard. So we'll try that.
Oh, this
But
is
I am interested to hear what you guys think after we've chatted about this for a while.
indeed.
Yeah. And
It's a
again,
change.
this is
Yes.
go ahead.
No, you first.
I was just going to say again, ideally, Steve Evans would watch this or parts of it, and hopefully there's some constructive feedback for him and his team.
I'm going to try to get Steve.
Ideally,
I'm going to try to interview. I'm going to try to interview Steve. I think that would be a really good way of like breaking the boundary. Like, it's something that Hasbro wouldn't normally do, and it would go a really
right?
long way. Because let's face it, who do they do interview with now? Like, just the shills of shills, and that's it.
Yeah, and they
So
screen all the questions. So
right, and again, like
it's like
so it's not about getting an
yeah,
interview with him would not be about pressing him on issues that he legally can't tell me. Like, that is, I get it, that's fine, but give us more. You know what I mean? Like, there's some things that need to be covered.
yeah. We don't need you, Dave's. It's 2 a.m. for him. Nah, that's fine, man. Ooh. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think we're all eagerly waiting to see what Steve comes back with.
Yeah,
In a
absolutely,
week or 2 or a couple weeks, whatever.
absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. I wonder
and
when we're gonna
just
get a Black Series wave on pre-order. Like, how is it even possible that there's no Black Series wave on pre? How pathetic is that?
yeah, that is strange.
I guarantee it
Very
has to do
strange.
with the stupid Acolyte or whatever the hell's coming out. There's probably one figure in that wave, and so they're like, "Oh, you can't show anything."
Yeah.
So then we'll find it from China and get it revealed that way. They'd rather that.
The other part that we didn't talk about yet was Steve's part 2 of his question. He said, "What information would you, the fans, like to give us?" Let's talk about that a little bit.
What do you say? You go first this time.
Okay, so the easy answer there is fan surveys, fan polls. That is the just do fan polls. Do fan polls. Yeah. I don't know. Star Wars, Marvel, everything. HasLab. I would love a fan poll for HasLabs. If that is the dream project, that should be a fan poll.
I wonder if I could send you. I'll have to send you. I think I can send you at least the company who does the focus groups, and then they sell, and then they send you links for when, or they send you like questionnaires for when they're going to do them.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll send you the name of the company, and maybe you can get on the email list, because that is what they do for HasLabs. Like they literally are doing it. It's just like 4 or 5 people at a time in these groups, but they do a lot of them.
Well, then that'd be nice information to know. Like, hey, we are talking to fans, and that's where we source these ideas.
Yeah. I'm going to welcome. But not all the ideas are good. Believe me.
Jeremy's here. Jeremy, Dave, hello.
What's up, man?
Good day.
AK. Jeremy is my local friend here in Massachusetts that we hang out. So I invited him to come on.
Do you follow me on Instagram?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
Just Jeremy, real quick. Tell everybody what you collect and how long you've been into collecting, what your main lines are, just for context.
So I fell back into collecting in 2016 after my brother-in-law got me reading the Uncanny X-Force series.
Nice.
And so I was a collector growing up as a kid. Primary lines now are anything from Four Horsemen, Storm Collectibles, pick and choosing lines there. Legends, Classified, and then, other random things, imports like Toy Notch, who have the Astrobots line. Very good stuff.
Nice. What is your favorite from the Poxus wave?
I don't have most of it in yet. The only thing I've received is Poxus and Thrace. I've got several orders coming in from different places, and I just got I'll have my 4-H official shipment tomorrow. So I'm most looking forward to the Jin, but so far, I mean, Poxus and Thrace have been great.
It's a great wave.
Yeah.
They take fucking way too long to ship though. Like, I don't believe I don't believe they're not done. Like, that is crazy.
Yeah. But you know what? It's fine. Like, it's just patience. I'm after some of the other delays with other lines, it's fine. I know it'll get here. That's my biggest thing.
God, I wish I had patience. Can you guys tell that I have absolutely no patience whatsoever for this shit? Like, I was telling a friend yesterday, like, I'm going to change my middle name to Veruca legally because I am Veruca Salt. Like, that is me. It's really bad. So I wish I had patience. I really do.
Oh, I get frustrated.
Yeah.
But, I luckily, like with 4-H, I'm more patient with them than anyone else.
Hey, they're very nice. I'll tell you that much. Have you guys met them? You guys, what state are you guys in?
Massachusetts.
We're neighbors with Jeremy.
Oh, nice. Okay. Like, I'm very close. I'm very close to them. So now I talk to the one. It's a shame. The one I always see and the one I always talk to is Jim, and nicest man. He's the best. He's retiring next year, and I was like, come on. There he is.
There's the collector.
There he is.
What's going on? Wait, hold on. There we go.
What are you doing?
Okay. What is going on here?
He's doing your impersonation.
Lovely. He's very good.
Wave, man. It's awesome. I love it.
It is awesome. Dude, you are so tall, too. Like, I could not believe walking into Legion's Con, like, you and your 3 friends. I was like, how am I the shortest man, like, right now? Like, what is going on here?
Jeremy was one of them. Jeremy was standing next to me when...
I'm 6'1", for fuck's sake. Like, come on.
See, I don't vape, so I had to get my iron out.
That's great, Chris.
That's fantastic.
Hey, Chris, quick introduction for everybody watching who doesn't know you. How long you been collecting, and what do you like to collect?
I've been collecting since I was like 7. Like I got the first, wave of Star Wars figures when I was a kid back in the 70s, watching Star Wars and collecting Star Wars cards and just growing up. And then I started collecting G.I. Joe in the 80s and Transformers and Thundercats and He-Man and and then a lot of Japanese robots like Gundam, Mazinger, Robotech I was into. I got tons of that stuff. And then just kind of got out of it in college, like a lot of people do. And then in the 90s when Power of the Force came out and, and some of the stuff McFarlane was doing, I was like, yeah, let me buy some figures. And then I just been going crazy probably since then. And, and the stuff has evolved so much,
Thank God.
I mean, I have complaints about figures, but compared to like some of the stuff, even in like the 90s and early 2000s, that was just like 5 POA or whatever it was. And, you would get some of these, X-Men figures and be like, oh, this is so cool. And what you get now is like so amazing compared to that. But you can see, part of my collection behind me of different things,
I gotta come visit that room one day.
You gotta come up to Massachusetts, Dave.
Yeah, man. You gotta come up. We have like meetups every couple of months with these guys and a couple other folks. And Steve Evans lives right in the next town over, actually, from me.
Nice.
So he's been over here a couple of times.
I mean, who can blame him? Look at that room. Like it's
like hunched down a little.
Yeah.
No, it's insane, dude. When I
working on, I had a flood here a couple of weeks back, so I was working on it today, and it only came up like a little bit, but I have carpet down, so I kind of soaked the carpet in areas, so I'm working on.
You gotta get an extra sub pump. You have to get an extra sub pump. Then you can't let that happen.
The sub pump failed. That's why.
You have to get a new one and add another one. Get 2.
A backup to a backup.
I have like 2 portable ones, but the guys came like that afternoon and fixed it, but it was already too late. So
that is a proper room. We'll go the English. That is a proper room right there.
Proper.
Yes, it's proper.
So I got some questions for you. So what about this, guys? What about some Star Wars like 6-inch like diorama type of things? We've talked about this before, Dave. Like a Star Destroyer bridge, or like a Millennium Falcon cockpit in 6-inch that you could put like Han and Leia and Chewie in, or something like that would be a nice display piece for a shelf, that maybe is like $150, either
like a HasLab. You talking like a HasLab idea?
Yeah, either a HasLab or a playset type of thing.
Yeah.
Why you want to put Land Speed or Luke out of business? Why you got to be like that?
I don't. I buy a ton of his stuff actually. He sells stuff at like that Jersey toy show there. Yeah, I bought stuff from him.
Yeah, no, he's great. I don't have a printer, but he makes me want to get one. So
yeah, I just think how they revitalized that Star Wars line, because everybody is just kind of, everybody's kind of burnt out on it. And like you guys were saying earlier, like the figures that they're coming out with are just like repacks or retools, and it's everybody's kind of numb on it a bit. And I'm just trying to figure out, how do you add more excitement to it? Is it
right?
You throw a playset in, or what about this? Could they ever do Build-A-Figure parts for Star Wars? I mean, they already did a Wampa, you know what I mean? But they could have done like a Wampa Build-A-Figure or a Tauntaun Build-A-Figure. You know what I mean? Like, are there other creatures in Star Wars that are big that they could do a Build-A-Figure wave?
Don't even get me started on Build-A-Figures, man. Like the
Dude,
fact
you're
that
the Star Wars expert.
The fact that Legends doesn't have a Build-A-Figure in every single wave, like they made retro cards under the guise of, oh, look, this is just like what you had as a kitten. Now, dude, you're screwing me out of a Build-A-Figure. That's all you're doing. Who are you kidding? So you think they're going to add one to Star Wars? Like there is a zero.
But it would add value to it. You know what I mean?
Oh, of course.
Like a leg and an arm, and suddenly it's Star Wars Build-A-Figure. Okay, all right, now I'm interested. Okay, what are we doing? But what are we building, I mean, they could have done like a Jabba, but they already released him. I don't know.
But so the problem is, then what if the Build-A-Figure is phenomenal? and the weight.
Oh, and then they're all repacks or something.
What they're making.
that's
Rose
what happens.
Tico, you got to buy Rose Tico and
Jim the plumber from Andor, just some dude in a jumpsuit who just walks over, like that's what they'll do, because God
Another
forbid
Ray.
they just do a tool.
I think Dave would get Jim the plumber.
Not
I would
me.
get what?
Not this Dave.
Seriously.
No way.
Or see, my other thought always too was to do, instead of a build a figure, do like a build a diorama. Like you get a piece to, like, say, the trash compactor from the Death Star, and you get a panel, you know, with each figure, and then after you buy 8 figures, you assemble it and you have the trash compactor. You know,
it's an excellent idea. They won't.
I like that idea. I think it's important to. I think as I've collected Black Series, we've all learned that we like the figures in the Black Series, and there's not a lot of shelf real estate for even dioramas. I mean, I have a 12-foot wall full of Black Series dioramas, you know, but it takes up a lot of room. I think it'd be nice to have little set pieces like that, but you got to keep it like figure centric, you know, whatever they do in the Black Series line. That's my thought on it.
How many Black Series figures do you two on the bottom half? Like, do you have in the hundreds as well?
yeah, probably.
You probably do too. How many Luke Skywalkers of the 33 that they've made do you both own?
1, 2, it's a couple.
Whoa, we got a 0 over here. That's amazing.
Jeremy's not a big Star Wars guy.
Oh, okay.
I only collect Sith.
That's a great idea.
He does bad guys. He doesn't do the good guys. Luke's
Who can
too
blame
good.
him? So you guys you don't have all 33 though, right? Like you've
No.
plenty.
I've got.
Okay.
I mean, the very first figure was the original Luke, you know, in his jumpsuit
blue box.
there.
Yep,
Luke,
yep.
which was great.
Yes.
And then the one with the cloth goods tunic there sucks, right?
Yep.
That's terrible, and they should redo that somehow. And then you have the one that came with the land speeder, where he has the poncho. I have that one.
Fine.
And and I've got Ceremony Luke, where he's got the yellow jacket.
You got Ceremony. I hope you didn't pay full price, but okay.
You've
got 30 fucking Christ Almighty. Come on.
And then I got Jedi Luke. I got where he like goes into Jabba's palace Luke. I think
that is a reasonable amount. That's fine.
So I probably have 12.
You probably have 12. See, even that's really high. So that is part of the problem though. Like 33 Lukes should not exist in this line. It's either 33 or 32. I don't remember which one exactly.
Because I mean, you know, with all the repacks, like why can't they make a new Luke, right?
Oh no. Again,
like,
no more. No more.
Quintessential Luke we have.
No more. No more Lukes. Forget it.
You know what I'm saying? Like this isn't the Luke we want, right? Is it?
No, God.
It's a bad Luke. That's a bad figure.
They really struggle making his face. You be quiet, Mr. Edge. You can and you have enough Lukes, believe me.
So, like, if I could pose a question to the maniacal Dave.
Yes, sir.
So, multi-step question here. I know you're a classified fan. Did you originally buy the 00 Snake Eyes?
No.
Do you have the 00 Snake Eyes?
Yes.
Like from the package and everything?
Yes. He's on the shelf right now. He is the one I use as my display Snake Eyes. Okay.
So that was my first one. Like that was my first classified. I jumped in. I grabbed one of them before they sold out. That came into my hands and I sat there and said, holy crap.
Yeah.
Hasbro can do this.
Yeah.
So my question to you, and I was thinking about this when I was listening earlier, is for any particular Legends, Star Wars classified line, would you back or do you feel that there's a market for them to sit there and create a premium figure at like a $50 price point, like the best Spider-Man, the Luke you're looking for, the like whatever figure line you want to go with, but it is the mid-tier between Mafex, which, you know, you got people paying $100 for, and in my opinion is the definitive Spider-Man in 6-inch scale, versus the $25, you know, the recent Spider-Man have been very good, but it's not, it doesn't have everything. And I think for me, because I'm at the point where they're digging deep enough into to lines that I would sit there and pay Hasbro $50 for the Spider-Man with the accessory, like all right. No, they can't do that. That's wrong. But like to get that and they could even do it like they make updates all the time. I would probably buy 3 over 6 years if they made these core characters. And it came with everything.
Spider-Man, though, I thought they did.
So,
like it seems like every Spider-Man that comes out, everyone's like, "This is the Spider-Man," and then a new one comes out. This one's even better.
So that's the problem. So that's the problem with letting Hasbro do it, because everyone who you just said, like in that regard, they'll still make another one. Like they won't. Like they can advertise it all they want as this is the whatever, and it might be. It doesn't matter to them. They'll still put a Spider-Man, a Luke, a Vader, or whatever, because they just can't help themselves. And when you have idiot retailers who don't understand anything about the hobby as well, saying, we want Darth Vader on the show, that's the other problem. So
Spider-Man.
I hate that Spider-Man. I think that was absolutely terrible. I despise it.
I even have his little car he drives in.
That's cool.
See, I don't blame anyone for buying that one who actually liked that one. That's totally
cool.
fine.
It's just something so different.
So that's the only problem with Hasbro doing it, because I agree, like that Snake Eyes is basically the only Snake Eyes they should have made in that particular V2 costume. You know what I mean? Like they could have, like the V1 fine, they could go on now. They can make the Ninja Force one. They can make the one with the knives on his chest, all of that stuff, and that's fine.
But how many Snake Eyes do we have too? You know what
way
I mean?
Too many. That's the thing.
Right.
Way too many. So if you're going to, but again, he's all in the same scheme, or there's only one that's really not in the same scheme of like the visor. You know what I mean? Like version, I guess it's 3. Yeah, no, since that one is 2, version 3 is when we start to really get different. And then you know how many
the original version, right? Where he doesn't have the visor. It's just like from like the wave 1 of G.I. Joe.
Right. And they made that one on the retro card. So that's fine. They made that one as well, but that's all they've done. But they've made like 8 or 9 Snake Eyes, give or take, you know? So that's, it's not great. Like it's better when here's the bottom line. No matter what, repaints don't sell unless they change the character completely. The repaints for any line, it doesn't matter what it is, they don't do well. So they shouldn't do it. And yet they do it all the time. Think of a repaint that did sell well. How many Python Patrol troopers that are all in black? How many do you guys have on your shelves right now at Target?
Yeah, I don't do that.
Oh yeah, there's
stuff. Yeah, I don't.
You got some? Do you have some, or do you have none? Are they there or they are not?
I have like 3 or 4. Yeah.
You have 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Not
I
terrible.
skip most of the Python stuff though, and that's kind of peg warming too at Target.
That's what you're asking, right?
Troopers,
Yeah.
the classic troopers flew off the shelves. You couldn't find the blue Cobra troopers. You could not find them, and then they reissued, and those went. But they did the Python colors, and there's like 5 of them right now at the Target, like right up the road.
Right. So
yeah, maybe I misunderstood. I was saying I don't have any of those in my collection, but I see them on the pegs.
But you see them on the pegs. That's what I wanted to know. Are they on the pegs? Here they've done better. They sat for a while and now they're all gone. It at least changes the character a little bit. Now, the one that you can't army build, the Copperhead, forget it. I've got full rows of him at every store.
Yeah.
You put him out last year in his normal colors. Why do we need this now? They're doing it too close. Like even this new wave that they announced, the new retro wave, that is not going to sell.
The Snow Serpent and the
So what are the two? Right. So think of it this way. What are the 2 best-selling figures Hasbro made last year? Like it is the Snow Serpent and the Eel. Every single one of those sold. You cannot find it. You could not find it. Amazon put it back in stock, had put the Eel back in stock, maybe twice, gone before you could even click the link. Snow Serpent was even more impressive because it was Fanmazon. GameStop sold out. And Entertainment Earth, Big Bad Toy Store, Amazon, gone. I bought Gary from Return of the Nerd in Taiwan, couldn't even get enough. So why are we putting that out again the year after? Why would we do that? You think there's enough demand to sell that now? No, there's not. It doesn't matter that you change one color. There's not enough. So now they're going to rot. And so what is the point of doing that? And they don't know. Like, that's the thing. No thought went into that. where it's like, oh yeah, like who said, yeah, no, these will totally sell again. They're army builders. These idiots don't care. I have 4 fucking snow serpents and 6 eels. I'm not buying another one. And all I want to do in life is buy G.I. Joe figures. So
See,
who is that
I
for?
missed the snow serpent though, so I'm kind of like, okay,
You missed it
I missed it.
entirely?
There's one right now in a store right by me at FYE. It's $54 at
Yeah,
FYE.
all right. FYE doesn't count. We'll leave that.
It's the
We'll
only
leave that
one I've
alone.
ever seen in the wild, and I missed it on orders. And
Chris,
How the hell did you miss it on orders? Do you need me to send you links?
I pre-ordered a ton of
the
crap.
hell?
It was one of those things came in. I don't know.
Oh,
Chris,
I
I've
missed
got
it
one for
too.
you.
Oh, there you go.
I've got an extra. I've got one that I haven't opened. I was going to sell it,
Okay.
so pass.
I
You guys
did
can fight
get
for
the
it.
eel. I did get the eel. I accidentally canceled my eel. I had an eel. I got in on the initial pre-order, and then Torpedo showed up one day at my door, and I'm like, oh, I think I pre-ordered him. I better cancel him. So I go on there, and I see the diver figure, and I go cancel, and I'm like, wait a minute, wrong diver. I just canceled the eel.
All right.
But
I will
they re-released
I
it.
will.
got it
I
re-released.
I will change my statement slightly. Can you say at least that if you had been overly committed to getting snow serpents, that you could have got one if you wanted it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't
everyone who wanted one had the chance. Like the chance was there. And
But
to make another,
like you said though, it's like everything goes to clearance now and peg worms at some point. So after a while, I was kind of like with the snow serpent. I'm like, I'll eventually see it at Target. Like, why am I going to chase this? Because I've chased so many things and paid full price. Yeah. And then, 2 months later, it's $14.99 and there's 20 of them. And I'm like,
absolutely.
So I'm like, what, it wasn't something I really needed or wanted. And I kind of just had that attitude, but you don't know which ones are going to disappear. It's weird.
No, the amount of Hasbro figures that actually did disappear last year is incredibly small, like across all lines. It's really small. Because
all the other G.I. Joe stuff, I mean, you can go on Big Bad Toy Store right now, and they're all there. I mean, they're all there.
Yeah.
And I was at Walmart this week, and they have Shipwreck on sale, $14.99. They had Rock and Roll, $14.99.
And those are the only 2 they got from that whole wave. Why are they getting only those 2? Like, what the hell happened? Why would you order?
Yeah, it's weird.
Right. Walmart. Why not order the whole wave and just get 1 box, wait till it sells, and then restock it? But no, you can't possibly sell through 8 Shipwrecks. It's not happening.
Right. They did sell the new Cobra Crimson Guard, though. The carded one. That sold pretty well, I think. No? You still have them, Jeremy, up by you in Bellingham? But the cards were so flimsy, too. You looked at the stupid cards were just like paper.
So I didn't even get those in my stores because they still have Destro and Lady J. So they didn't even come.
Yeah.
Yeah. My Walmart's just all 4 or 5 Walmarts that I can go to relatively easily. They just got put on clearance now for like $16. Meanwhile, my friend in Connecticut, Castor, calls me one day. He's like, Lady J is $2 at my Walmart. This was last year. So like
Lady J is everywhere. I mean, I travel around and she's at every single Walmart, 2 pegs, 6 deep.
Yep.
And the prices are all over the place. You go to one Walmart, she's still $24.99. You go to another one, she's $17.99. And I'm like, make it like $4.99 or $6.99 to get rid of these damn things.
Get rid of it, right? And they won't though, because again, if Sporting Goods has used all the clearance that week or that month, and again, that you can't do it, and they don't care about toys. Walmart does not care at all. They don't know what their inventory is. They don't know anything. They don't care.
So it's really weird. Like when you were talking about that, and you were I was the one who raised my hand about being in corporate. So my old life was I was a buyer for TJX and Ross stores at different times, and it drives me up the wall because they are the models that they work off of, that Ross works off of, is to burn the inventory and just turn the floor over and over again, and keep guys like us going in to hopefully find something that is there one day and is not there the next day. And so to see Walmart doing that on a per store basis, and they're so limited, and I've got, I'm very friendly with the people who are at my local store. It's gross. Like, and then you go to a Target and there were things like I got one of our friends one of the indie waves on clearance before it actually hit the shelves. Like it literally just went straight to the clearance aisle, and I grabbed it for $7.49 a figure because Target at least is looking at their overall stock and saying, okay, here's what we've got to cut on a timely basis.
Yep.
There's a question. How many Indiana Jones figures do you guys have now? Like Indiana, like Harrison Ford Indiana, not like out of the wave. I was counting yesterday. I'm like, I went from 0 to 4, 5, 6 sets. I have 7 Indiana Jones now.
Yeah, no, way too many.
Yeah,
and I wouldn't have got them. I have all but the one that came with the pillar for the idol, like because it's still too much money and it's a Pulse exclusive. So that's the only one I don't have.
$35 or something.
All right. And if they didn't come, and if half of them didn't come with build and artifact pieces, I would have even less.
They're cool figures, though. I like that. I like that Indiana Jones line. I don't know. I kind of hope they keep doing it. I don't know if there's any word that that's canceled or.
It's dead. No, it's dead. They're done.
Oh, it's dead. Really?
Yes, they're done. Yep.
Once the movie came and went from the theaters, that was the end of Indiana Jones.
Right.
You know?
And so I will always think negative. Right? It was like I can't think of that line positively because they didn't give me Molaram. They made Molaram. He's in the focus group. There's a picture of him on screen. They made him.
That's the guy from the second movie, right? From Temple of Doom.
Yeah, he pulls out the heart.
Yeah.
Yes, like it's
they had a render of him, Dave.
Oh yeah, you didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, it's not the clearest picture.
Thinking.
It's not the clearest picture, but I'll send it to you. No, yeah.
Huh. It was controversial in the movie at the time. Remember that when you watch documentaries about Indiana Jones, like that whole movie and that scene where he pulls the guy's heart out and everything was like this big controversy at the time with the ratings and all that going.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And the Lego.
What's that?
And the Lego. You saw the leaked picture of the Temple of Doom Lego that was supposed to come out with those Indiana Jones figure things, right?
Oh, and they
got canceled too?
Yes. Wait, you guys are so uninformed. Come on.
There's I collect a lot of stuff, man. It's hard to stay informed on all these lines.
God. So yes.
The guy I wanted from Indiana Jones is the guy who comes out with the sword in the first movie and he shoots him, you know?
Yeah.
Right?
They had that when we were kids. So
yeah.
Turban guy. Yeah, I wanted more of the retro line. I really like the retro figures. I like them, but that's just me.
Do you guys collect the retro figures too, or is it just him?
So retro Star Wars or retro?
I don't care.
The
retro anything.
Mostly Star Wars, but they have the Indiana Jones too.
I've gotten one or two, maybe just out of super nostalgia. But yeah, I've kind of given up on 5 POA stuff.
Yeah. So don't hate me when I say, unfortunately, that's gotta go. Like unfortunately they don't sell because again you're aiming for an audience that's that big. So it just you can't continue to do that.
But I think that's kind of Steve's baby. He loves that 5 POA stuff.
God, he loves 3 3/4. So
yeah, I mean he's very retro. I think his collection too is very retro. So, but I think like you're saying is that most of the collectors now skew towards the 6-inch, 20 something points of articulation. They want lots of articulation. They want realistic looking figures. They want all the weapons and accessories. And a lot of us too, we're older. We have those 5 POA ones, the originals, so.
That's why I got back into collecting was because they weren't 5 POA anymore. Like I as a kid, I was dreaming of the things we should be able to do with action figures. And now that they can, I'm like, yeah, let's do that. So no, I don't. The only thing I'll collect that has less than, the 22 or so points of articulation is my little like Pokemon collection over there. Like
that's different. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Guys, what about what do you guys think of the Super 7 5 POA stuff?
I like it.
Reaction.
God.
Because I was a player on that Cobra Mothership. Was anybody in the Cobra Mothership?
Me?
It is cool though. Yeah, I've been getting a couple of those Joe reactions.
Card.
I don't know. They're super expensive though. I mean, I wait till they go down to like $5. They start out at like $17.99. I'm like, what? And then when they're $5, I grab them. But that Cobra mothership was awesome. I'm so surprised that only hit like 1,500 or 1,400 backers, and they needed 3,000.
That goes.
I was so hoping
what,
you would get that, Chris.
I was
What's
hoping.
that?
I was
hoping you would get it because I'd love to see it.
Yeah,
you were you were the only reason I was not actively making fun of it online. I knew how badly you
fun of it.
wanted
I was like believe me, behind the scenes, I was making fun of it too. But I saw it. I don't know if any of you guys went to New York Comic Con, but I saw it there. It was. Well, I know you guys didn't, but I don't know, Jersey, if you went to New York Comic Con, they had it on display there, and this thing looked amazing. And
I'm sure.
You could put the other, the 3 3/4, the articulated figures in there. You could have made
the
it work.
O-ring figures.
Yeah, and it was just cool, man. And I just remember as a kid, that was the opening sequence of the cartoon, and you'd sit there and be like, "Oh man, I wish they would make that."
Sure.
And then they're like, "Yeah, we're making it, but it's $600," and it was like,
and it's big
plus shipping too.
Yeah.
It was like,
yeah. That's the demand. That's the demand for 3 3/4, though. Like it's not there overall. It's just not. It's just not. The people who love that will never accept it, and even Mr. Stevie, I'm sure, will never admit it. But it's true. Every other toy maker does. So
even the Joy Toy and Acid Rain 3.75 market is very small. Like those are great figures,
sure.
But it's higher. You're paying the premium for it.
Did you guys watch the Nerdzoic video this week about where he talked about what sold at his store?
Yes.
No.
That was interesting. Huh?
That was really interesting.
Yeah.
That's the kind of information. I know some of it was coming up in when it was just the Daves talking, but that's kind of the stuff that I would love to hear from Hasbro too. Is like, and I joke with on our group that I'm the corporate minded one. Like I love this hobby, but like everything to me is dollars and cents when I'm going through this stuff, and it drives me up the wall to like have been in production and no like real thresholds that have to be met and real barriers that people have to meet with licenses. I'd like to know more of like the big nerdies type of information from Steve. I know they can't share that, but
they'll never tell you. Yep, they'll never tell you. Look at your phones real quick and look at the message I just sent you if you have it right there, so you can see this. So you know I'm not making it up. Yeah.
That's crazy. Mola Ram.
Huh. Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
All you guys on YouTube
that's the character. That's you have the good guy and the bad guy. That was the bad guy from that movie.
Right.
I mean, who else do I have from that one? It's like
nobody. The hypnotized Indiana was supposed to be a Target exclusive, and then they changed it to cut Molaram out of the line because someone at Lucas decided, no, you can't make that. That's no. So it was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. It's embarrassing in every way.
Hey, get back to Star Wars. What do you guys think would be the next Star Wars HasLab? Any thoughts on that?
It'll probably be dead scale again. So and it'll probably go through because they do a good job. They do a decent job with the HasLabs. So
yeah, I mean, I got the Razor Crest, but I ordered the Ghost. So
good for you.
You're right. I mean, I mean, they'll never make those in 6-inch, but they could certainly make, like you were saying earlier, the N1, right? Somebody said the Naboo Starfighter, right? You could do that in 6-inch. Do an X-wing for sure.
I would like a Slave 1, and I don't think it would really scale. Like it would have to be really big, I think, to scale properly. So I don't think we could ever get it. Like Blacks, in fairness to everything involved, it is tough to make a Black Series HasLab affordable enough to where it will actually get funded. It just is.
Yeah.
So you guys get the sail barge, Dave. You have the sail barge, right?
No, I'm just waiting for Steve to give me one.
I wish I had one.
Me too.
Yeah,
he always gives them away to like someone he has to like drive to, like in the Midwest.
I know.
I'm like, I live right in the next town over, man. Why don't you drive over here with one of those?
Yeah.
Dave is right down the road too. He's 2 towns over.
Yeah.
Jeremy's in the direction. He's 3 towns over.
Yeah. I wish that they would, like, I don't want them to re-release HasLabs because I think that would be really shitty for everyone who owns them, and I just don't want them to do it. But if they did, I would buy that barge in a second.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like goes for like $2,000 now or something.
Oh,
right?
so much. No, a ton. It's brutal.
Yeah. A guy
So wait
had
a
one
minute.
at-
Wait a minute. We skipped right by this. What did Big Nerdy say? What did he say sold and what did he say didn't?
Oh, well, I'll just tell everybody go watch it on his YouTube. It was this week, and he broke down his sales for 2023 as his toy store sales by
Mhm.
percentage. So he talked about which toy company sold what, how much NECA did he sell, how much Hasbro, how much Mattel, and then he broke it down into lines.
See if he can guess what the number one figure line was that sold.
I don't know.
And I don't even remember now. So you guys
I
will
do.
have to.
I don't know
What?
all of what he carries. So
Oh,
it's
The
not
standard
fair.
stuff.
So it's God, I would guess either classified or legions. It's one or the other. Am I way off?
nope, way off.
Classified was really low.
Classified was
Yeah.
really low.
He had
Wow.
Marvel Legends was number one.
You know what? They make more than double the amount of legends that they do classified.
And I think that's
so,
what he said because there's so
yeah.
many figures. And then
Yeah.
Black Series. And then I think the third one was Mythic Legions, but it was only 7% of his sales. Like Marvel Legends and Star Wars Black Series made up like 50%. And then like the rest of them were like 7% for Mythic Legions. Classified was like 6%. And then NECA was like 4%. I'm pretty sure, right, Dave?
Right.
Yeah, and the other thing that I remember from the video, you guys have to go watch. It was good. It's worth your time, actually. Action Force, he could never keep it in stock because they sold so quick, and Mythics sold so quick he couldn't keep them in stock. So he said if he had bought more, he would have made more of his percentage from those two lines. So.
The funny thing about the Action Force, which I didn't quite understand, is that generally speaking, they keep it in stock on site, and it's no different in price. So I never really understood. Like, it's great that he sold it well, but I don't know.
But he was just saying, as a buyer, he did not choose to buy much of their product last year because he didn't know how well it would sell. And so next year he's going to buy more.
Like things like the Pandora figure, like Valaverse sold out of it. Like they didn't have it for a while. And so if Big Nerdy had it on Nerdzoic, right, you would go to Nerdzoic and buy it. But I think there weren't many that sold out like that. Maybe the Warpath figure, I think, was sold out for a while. So he could have cashed in with that if they sold out. But now I think Pandora's back in stock now. I think
it is.
But he also had some criticism towards Hasbro too. He said that like figures sold per SKU was low, like our average. So I mean, he was saying like they make so much product, they're selling a lot, but it's just because they have so much.
Yeah.
And they weren't really outstanding sellers if you considered them the number of figures in each SKU that he sold. So that was interesting.
That's why those numbers in general they don't tell us really anything, because when you think of, I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but I love my numbers. Like I love counting at the end of the year, and I love seeing other people's counts so that I can tell them how full of shit they are. Like this is my favorite time of year, is the end of the year. So we'll round off.
10? Did you do a top 10?
I don't know if I did a top 10 this year. I like doing overall grades. It's not so much like top 10s are hard. As much as I complain, I love this shit. You know what I mean? So top 10s are hard.
Yeah, it is.
But so rounding off, they make close to 250 Marvel Legends. They make close to 130 Black Series figures. And then I think the number for G.I. Joe, if I'm not mistaken, was 81. So if the dude, so if the dude is ordering the same amount, like of course the lines that made more are going to sell more units. Like it's just basic math, right? Like it's just not this line is better because this sold more. Like you'd have to do it all comparatively, and that's a pain in the ass. And what pisses me off about Valaverse is I don't like him. He is not a good person. I know he's not a good person, especially his last post about Gina, like he's a bad person. And he had all of his shit displayed at ZoloCon, and I'm like, I'm not even gonna look at it. Not even gonna look at it. Not gonna do it. I walked by again. No, I'm not looking. By the third time, I'm buying 2 figures, and I hate myself for it.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Bobby. I've met him a bunch of times. He came to our convention we've had twice, and he's at least every time I've interacted with him, he's been fine. So, but I've seen videos where people are clashing with him.
You are a customer. You have to think of it that way. You are a customer. He sees you. He knows who you are. He knows what your room looks like. He's like, "Ooh, look what I can get from this young man here."
Oh yeah, I dropped a lot of money at his booth one time because I had these guys. A lot of these guys weren't there, so they're all texting me, "Get me 1 of these and 2 of these and 5 of these." So I bought like a ton of stuff from him one time. It was great. All the stuff you open it, and they're all great figures. I really love them.
Like this bloody head is like one of the greatest things I have ever seen in my entire life.
They're
like
amazing.
His talent is undeniable. I wish he was a good person so that I didn't have to feel bad about it.
Bobby, be a good person. All right.
He's
dude. What do you think of Todd McFarlane? Is he a good person? I like Todd.
Todd is he a good person? I think Todd means well. Did you guys listen to his recent interview with Adventures in Collecting?
I don't think so.
No.
Oh, you should. It's a good one. It's a very good one. Because like I'm listening to it and I talk to Adventures in Collecting all the time. And he said, like, I'm going to interview Todd soon. Do you have anything? I'm like, the only thing, ask about some certain Spawn figures because I don't really care about his DC. Like his DC line is never going to be what I want it to be. So I give up. But he was asked, like he said, like people complain that I put too many Batman and Superman on the shelves, and I disagree. Just because I have, that thing is great. Yeah, he says just because I have Batman on the shelf in February, does that mean nobody likes Batman and Superman in March? And it's like, wow, have you missed the point, dude? Like we are 60 Batman deep, like in the last 2 months. Like
it's pretty incredible. It is.
Right, like just make something else for fuck's sake. Like you can make just 2 Batman a year, but what's the last wave? Batman. So this is never going to be what I need it to be. So I give Batman.
Hey, what do you guys think of? Flat butt gate for Rogue?
I don't know about flat butt gate.
You guys haven't seen this?
I know
Rogue thing?
I know what you're talking about.
You know what is this about, right? The cartoon. You know how the Rogue figure, and in the cartoon, she was kind of had a big booty.
Yes, very curvy. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, very curvy. So I guess the new cartoon, she's very flat, and there's like a big controversy. They're calling it butt gate because they're afraid. I guess the new figure is going to have a flat butt. I don't know.
I have trouble caring about what female parts that are supposed to be sexual in nature look like in a cartoon. Like I just have trouble.
So you got this one. See, that's pretty good.
There you go. That's very good. So like I can't be bothered. Like the Goblin Queen from the HasLab, everyone was like, "Oh, her tits aren't out," and I'm like, "Really, dude? Really? Like Pornhub is a click away if this is what you want to do." Like we don't like. Let's not care. Like let's calm down. But they didn't. Instead, that one drives me insane too.
If there were a segment of our community that I wish I could banish, it's the group that like sexualizes toys.
I agree. I'd ban them first as well.
Yep. Especially the one next to me. No, the other way. That way.
Me?
That one. Buying the toys that have to come up with
the TB League.
Not a sex toy.
It says that. It's a Japanese import brand, TB League, and you open the box and there's a little piece of paper that says this is not a sex toy.
Oh
like,
my
it's
god.
It's an action figure of what the heck is it? It's Valkyrie from Conan.
Oh,
I didn't think Valkyrie was a toy. Well, it's a toy, but it's not.
See, and like that's fine. Like I don't mind if they make things accurate to the screen. Like that's fine, but just don't care if it's not exactly what you want it to be. You know what I mean? I think that's fair.
Toys, yeah.
I don't care about Rogue's ass. Like I just don't.
Actually, where's my Valkyrie? Hold on.
Yeah, now I want to see.
Oh, you're gonna go get it now. She's gonna go get it.
I do.
You're gonna get demonetized right now. This is where it all goes down.
No, she's got clothes on. She's not naked. She's
right
got,
now.
Thing.
Ah.
Not now.
No, right
Well,
now she does.
It's one of those rubberized. It's got like a metal skeleton in it. Let me turn the light on here. But she's
man,
That looks nice.
but she looks great. It's a cool figure.
I
You
love
can
how
get the.
I love how the company has to tell you though, don't come on this. It's not for
Yeah, it's from China. It's like broken
Right.
English, like not sex toy, and it's like, you know, bend carefully, and you know, with all the rules, and then like the last one is like that, and you're like, hey man, what? I like Conan stuff.
Yeah. See, he just said Darth Talon. Darth Talon is not a sex toy. It's just not. Come on, man. Come on. We can put
Yeah,
enough clothes on
Jeremy.
So
Where's that Darth Talon?
let me try to steer us back on topic a little bit here, guys. My goodness, I invite my friends over, and now it's all about going way off the rails.
Sorry.
Hasbro. Jeremy, do you have anything you want to say to Steve at Hasbro? Do you have any comments back on his thoughts? You know, his questions? Chris?
No, sadly, I mean, again, I go back to the things that it's the things that I want to know are the things that I can't know as a public person. I could only know that as a shareholder or someone that's high up in the offices. I can speculate all I want about the quality of the movies that have come out and Hasbro having to back it contractually, or I should say the lack of quality of movies. You know, I can speculate, having worked under licenses in the past, I understand the restrictions that come along with them and the requirements. So, I think the things I'd like to know, I can't know. And I think some of the other things that you guys have already talked about is the decision-making going forward. Like, I understand the MCU restrictions, but like when we start talking about comic lines, because Marvel Legends is really my number one under Hasbro, is like, I don't need some of these really D-tier, non-classic looks of characters to flush out a wave. So I guess kind of like, I would just like to know more about the decision-making process of maybe that they could share with me, but I know the things that I really want to know, they can't.
And just for those that may not know, what do you mean when you say the things you really want to know?
The things I really want to know are like the numbers behind it, the sales figures, the contractual requirements, the loopholes or tape that they have to get through to actually make something. You know, I think to some of Dave's comments earlier about knowing what the character is going to look like, but they can't release it or they can't show it. Or I think back to, and I know sometimes they're working off of concept art. Like I think about the original Marvel Legends Infinity Endgame, the bad guy Build-A-Figure, where he looked nothing like what he looked like in the movie.
Oh yeah, Cull
and
Obsidian,
they did
is that the one?
Cull Obsidian. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. And the second release in the 5-pack, he looked almost exactly. So like I get they're working off of concept art. So I don't know. Like I think that's kind of like the things that I want to know is the numbers in production, the production lines, the legal pieces, the contracts, the requirements, those pieces to either confirm or deny the things that I already think are occurring because of my past. But
let me push a little bit on that. Why does that information matter to you? How does that make you want to buy more figures from them? I'm just double advocate, and
it probably wouldn't help them at all, to be honest with you. But I mean, I'm pulling back as it is, and I think that if I knew some of the things that, if there's anything that I found out that was in their control, that wasn't a contract from the mouse, then I would be sitting there and I'd be livid, but I'd have something to go off of and say, hey, you're making bad decisions. You need to make better decisions on some of these things because I want to give you my money, but I'm not going to give you my money if you keep making these bad decisions.
So, and let me just stay on it because this is like really important. So you would be able to give them some slack if you knew a little bit more, if you understood who was pulling who was pushing the buttons, or would it not matter? You just I
think I would have some more empathy to some of the decisions they make. It doesn't mean that I'm going to go out and buy an Eternals wave because I did that at $4 and they're, engineering wise, they're great. They're good figures. I don't want to call them great figures.
Yeah.
But like I'd have some empathy and I wouldn't sit there and be crapping all over them for their business practices. If I'm like, no, I know the mouse is holding them at their knees, and they have to do these things. And again, like I said, I know this from things of my past, but I can't confirm it. Like, I don't know from their corporate lines of what their agreements are. But when someone sits there and complains about, like, well, I don't understand why they're making MCU figures, I'm like, they have to make MCU figures. They don't have a choice. They're beholden to that if they want to make, another retro carded Spider-Man line, which is probably more of their moneymaker.
But the Eternals is a perfect example.
You're getting at it there.
Did they have to make all 11 or 12 of those characters? They should have just started out and made 4, right? And see how they sold. Make 4 or 5. I mean, there were like 11 characters that were all on the shelves like at the same time, and there was no demand for any of them.
They had to. They had, like, I'm willing to bet without knowing they had.
We're gonna make 5 of them. They don't make every Star Wars character when a movie comes out or a show or anything.
No.
I don't know. It was
Chris,
just weird. I guess I don't know. I don't know.
Think about Andor. Think about Andor, Star Wars Black Series Andor figures. They made 15 figures or something for that show. I love the show, but the figures are kind of boring just because that's the design aesthetic of the show.
I don't know. I like them.
Still, why did they think they would sell that much? I don't know.
They wouldn't.
Haven't most of those sold though? I think those
no.
No,
they have not. No.
Oh,
You be quiet down there with that.
Dave, I know you're itching.
I really liked the Andor show. I watched the first 2 episodes and I thought it sucked. And then I came back to it like a month later.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the show here at all. I'm just talking about like what Jeremy was just saying. They're contractually obligated. Like, I think they probably had to make so many figures from that show because of their relationship with Disney.
Let's just clear this up with the I think and whatever. They 150,000% are contractually obligated to make this crap. Like, it's there's no question about it. Like, there's none whatsoever. And that is the problem. Because again, we all know that I always go back to Jim the Plumber because I could not hate a show more than I hate Andor. Like, there has never been a show that I violently hate it with every bone in my body.
You watched the whole thing? And you didn't
Unfortunately, I did. And there is about 10 good minutes, and that is when Luthen is escaping the Empire in his ship. That is the only Star Wars in that show. There are no aliens. There are no stormtroopers for like 6 episodes. It is garbage. It is Jim the Plumber. That's what they should have called it. We're walking along a planet and here comes dude in his janitor's outfit. Like, come on. That is not Star Wars. And everyone says, it was a great take on Star Wars. No, it wasn't. Anyway.
Back to the toys.
Yes, back to the toys.
So you're saying that they are contractually obligated to make all those figures?
Of course, yes. 1,000%.
I would like Steve to share that with us. I would like to have something from Hasbro. I would just...
That he'll probably be free with. I think he'll absolutely be free with that information. Sure.
But not the numbers of them. He'll say that, yes, they have to make them.
No.
I think so the other side of it too is, and I'm sorry, I don't like to jump back in, but I think the one piece that is not factored in is at some point it was mentioned in the conversation, but it's hard to measure the hindrance of what COVID did. In terms of slowing down production, in terms of hurting movie production, in terms of and again, I'd have to know, but like, did they really not sell Eternals, or were they just like, oh crap, we're not going to get a new wave in, we're not going to get new tooling in, we have to put something on the shelves? And then the same thing for Doctor Strange and all those things is that they were playing catch up the whole time with bad properties.
That's a great question.
So let's use, I have no inside information, but let's just use common sense on that. So they had the Eternals figures long before they ever actually went on shelves. So during the pandemic, when they had the great uptick in customers, right? Like, we can all agree that happened in every form of collecting. Like, people were bored, they had nothing else to do, so it's like, I'm going to collect. The line for Pokemon cards outside of Target was insane. People were running to our aisles and just grabbing everything. Not the Eternals though, so they were never going to sell no matter what. Like, it was not going to happen. And
I wondered why nobody was running with me towards the Eternals figures that I got at full price. No,
right. It was just never going to happen. So, and the worst thing that Hasbro could have done when they have this one giant uptick of new collectors, it's like the thing they talk about all the time. That's a completely mythical thing, and now they actually have it. So what do? They raise the price and make it plastic-free packaging, which literally everyone is pissed off about and hates. Now you have these jumped up production numbers at a pandemic level that they can't slow down because God forbid they make any change fast. Now we have all this liquidation. Now it's going to start to fucking do that. Now it's going to start to level out. So with the production, as far as oh dear God, just put it away. oh.
He's controlling your mind with his powers that you can't buy.
I still haven't seen that movie, by the way.
No, never. I'll never.
Well, that's why you bought all the figures then.
Yeah, no.
I just thought the figures looked cool. I don't know.
Yeah, no. All of those are all new tooled figures too, and for them to be like $4 now and still around, like you can still find them. Like that's.
Yep.
That is as bad as it can
Walmart,
be. Well,
I mean, Ollie's is chock full of them.
Chock full of them, and they're never selling them.
Yeah, it's crazy. Because people don't know what it is, and parents don't know too. You know, I mean, they're collectors, but there are also like parents that buy stuff at Christmas. They're going to look at that and be like, I don't know who that is. Where's Superman? Where's Batman? Where's Luke Skywalker? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but zero.
The equivalent of this should have been, and I mean this in the most joking way, the equivalent of this is the Super Bowl team who loses but still had T-shirts made, where some country in Africa thinks that, the 49ers were this year's Super Bowl winner. That's what should have happened with, that's a bad idea. I don't want to do that one. This guy.
Yeah.
Just, they should have been melted, sunk down. Everyone made fun of Funko when they melted down 27,000 or however many it was Funko Pops. Maybe not the worst idea.
You know, there's always the legend of like the E.T. video game from like 1982, the Atari game that supposedly was buried in the desert. And if you have like that E.T. game, now it was like the worst video game, but if you have one, it's worth like thousands of dollars. You know, I always think that about some of these peg warmers. You know, 20, 30 years from now, or somebody can be like, do you have the Eternals Sprite figure? My God, they buried them. They melted them all down. Yeah. If you have one, it's worth $8,000.
There's a chance. Not a good one, but a chance. Because they still made so many. Like a normal retail run is like 50, 60,000 figures. Like it's a lot. So it's hard to make that number rare, you know, like they'd have to melt down or bury in the sand a whole lot of them.
Right.
And if that ever happens, I've got my Sprite right here.
You are ready. Like that is the.
I think that's a cool figure. I think it's neat.
God. Oh,
I never saw the movie. I don't know. I was just like, that looks kind of cool.
I never saw the movie. That's the thing.
I don't have time for all these movies and TV shows.
I don't either.
I gotta go see Dune now.
Yeah, I got to see Dune too. So with the contractually obligated to make these things, like the question that I have is why is Falcon committed to bombing the line that he created? Because who else at Marvel is going to be in charge of the go-between between Marvel and Hasbro? It's fucking Falcon. Like he's at the shows and everything. So, and the man even said, and the thing that like I went back right away and screen recorded it and I thought I'm going to use this against you every chance I get. When they made Giant Man, they said, we wanted to make something people were going to buy. That is an exact quote. Why is there a Sprite figure? Why is there an Everett Ross? Why is there a Jimmy fucking Woo? There is a 0% chance of these selling. 0.
I don't have Jimmy Woo. You got Giant Man though, right? You bought Giant Man.
Absolutely. Yeah. But I'm not a bitch, and I actually like to pay for nice things, like unlike some people in the Legends community. Like that, they are the lowest. Did you guys watch my video when the Transformers thing funded?
I did not. Sorry.
See, you should watch that one because
the big Unicron one.
No, the most recent one, the most recent thing that their most recent HasLab. I don't collect the line, so like I'm not in it, and I wish I did. For whatever reason, that line has all of the adults in it. They offer a HasLab and they're like, "Yup, I'll buy it." Oh, what is it? I don't care. I'll buy it.
Yeah.
And it's backed so fast. If
Mhm.
Marvel makes one, it's nothing but bitching, moaning, the price. I'm gonna fuck the corporation. That's all you see every single time. I don't understand.
I think Giant Man was a good price. I thought it's a good figure.
It is, and it was. It is.
You know, it's disappointing we didn't get that last extra head. You know.
I don't even care. Again, like
Yeah.
I'm never gonna use it.
Most of the time, you're
kinda
not going to
expect
use
that
those
stuff.
heads. So.
I'm never gonna use it. His normal head is gonna be on, and that's it. Even the one we did get, I'll never use it. Which one did we get? The zombie or the scroll? Which one was it?
The zombie. Yeah. We didn't get the scroll. But again, I saw that in New York Comic Con. They had it on display with all those heads, and the heads were amazing. Like,
Oh, I'm sure.
So good. The scroll one, I was just like, oh, come on.
So you would have used it? You would actually have switched the head to that one?
I mean, I would have flipped it on there and taken some photos with it. You know, I mean, just from a photography standpoint.
There it is.
Looks like
that was weird. That I still don't get that choice. I never even put that on mine. You know,
Nope.
I just.
The thing
Jeremy,
is, we paid $25.99 of that $400 price just for that fucking piece of shit that literally no one wanted.
Somebody
and they got a bunch more profit.
And everyone was like, "Yeah, that's a great idea," and nobody had the guts to say, "You're no."
It's embarrassing.
There's an
That's why
uncanny
they saved it
resemblance
for the
there,
last
Jeremy.
one.
That hooded
It's an
figure.
uncanny resemblance. Yeah, the hood.
There you go.
I just got to get an MF Doom mask and I'll be all set.
So, what do you guys think about Steve Evans' new job title, fan adult collector?
No,
For Marvel and Star Wars.
We need an advocate. We need an advocate. That is, they should change the title to fan collector advocate against the evil asshole mouse, because that is exactly what we need. We need someone to say, no, that's a bad idea. That won't sell. That will go on clearance. That will cost us money. Don't make that. Make this instead. That's literally the thing that solves the problem of both Marvel and Star Wars. Think about how great that would be. Imagine me in the room. I'm working for Hasbro, and Disney tells me we need to make the mechanic from The Mandalorian. And what was my response going to be? You don't have a fucking prayer in hell, asshole. We're making Darth Talon instead because that one is going to actually sell. Are you trying to tank my company? Have you seen how many people I've had to lay off in the last 2 years because of your bullshit? No, we're going to make this, or you can go somewhere else with your license. Problem solved.
Then McFarlane.
Well said. No, well said, Dave.
Again, you think they want?
It's funny with the licenses because they all pretend like they're going to go somewhere else, but they are somewhere else. You know, SH Figure Arts makes them. Mafex is making. I mean, the license is all over the place, right?
Which of
Super
those
7 makes GI Joe shit. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Which of those are at retail?
Which are at retail?
Yeah.
Right. Well, Super
Some
7.
SHF.
Super 7, not really. Like even Super 7, Mafex, all that stuff. Like it's not at retail, and it's too much money. What do you think?
Hasbro has retail lockdown.
Right. Like, what do you think Disney wants? You think Disney wants shit on shelves, or do they want $100 figures where they make 300 of them and sell them online?
See,
I think though, couldn't they sell the license also to McFarlane, and he did 7-inch figures, right? Isn't there,
No, direct competition. So no, they could if Hasbro stopped. You mean instead of Hasbro, could they give it to McFarlane?
I thought it wasn't McFarlane doing 7-inch of something, and somebody else was doing 6-inch, or there was
no. So the reason,
what does NECA do? Because
NECA does 7, but the reason that McFarlane's DC figures are 7 is because they did not want them to match with the DC Universe Classics, and they wanted us to have to buy everything again. That's the only reason they made them 7-inch. It was a direct fucking of us. It's true.
Just trying to think. I thought there was. Oh, I know. It was the Disney store had those. Remember they had those 7-inch Star Wars figures? They were like metallic for a while.
Yeah, they weren't really they weren't overly articulated though, right? Yeah, they were.
What did you think of those metallic ones? I got a couple of them, but it just didn't fit in with the rest of my stuff,
Right. And that's not what we want. We want to add to our collections. We don't want separate collections. We want one. I want one Star Wars collection, one Marvel collection. So that's the other thing where Disney's kind of where Hasbro has leverage. How many of us, if they say tomorrow we're canceling Marvel Legends, like we all want to kill ourselves instantly, and then we hear, oh, but wait, this company is going to start making them. Do any of you want to start over?
No,
absolutely not. Like we're all going to be like, no way, like forget it. And you'll get a few people on there, like the MCU collector will be like, oh, these are great, and try to start his shilling all over again. But most of the people, it's not going to happen.
And
I got a quick
thought.
Well, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, realistically, where do you go? And you go to Mattel? Like Mattel's figures are just awful. Like, I mean, like as much as we may crap on Hasbro, they are good figures. It doesn't, like, engineering wise, overall quality, good figures. Would I rather have Mattel? No. Would I rather have McFarlane? No.
Nope. It's not going to happen. There is no other good option. So that is why Hasbro has leverage that they could use. They could say what I just said, like no one's starting over. And they could say what you just said. Our figures are way better than anything else on the market. Like right there, it's let me make what I want. Let me make what will actually sell. Let me get out of my financial woes by selling the living shit out of the stuff that actually people want.
How about this guy?
Who made that?
Yeah, Diamond.
It's Marvel Select.
That's a good one. If Marvel Select is a rough one because like you can't scale them with Legends for the most part.
Right, and they're 7-inch.
Right, and they're 7-inch, and they come out so infrequently that you don't have a complete collection. When it comes down to it, what do we as collectors want more than anything else in the world? A complete collection of good-looking figures.
Yep.
Would anyone argue that? Would you know anyone who would argue with that?
But I think Hasbro's getting to the point where they're like, geez, we've just about made every figure, right?
They haven't, though. They haven't.
But
especially not in the Black Series line. Like, I mean, and I'm not a Star Wars fan, but like I get it.
Oh, I can think of 20 off the top of my head right now that would sell like hotcakes that they haven't touched for some reason. But
do you want 100 Legends? Because if you want to sit here for a little while, I'll give you 100 Legends.
I've seen your list, but a lot of those, I mean, they're deeper. They're definitely deeper, cuts in the comics. I mean, sure. I'll recognize some of them. There are a lot of them I don't recognize. They're cool figures. I mean, I have a bunch on my shelf that I don't know who the heck it is, but I'm like, yep, that's a cool figure. I'm going to get it. And then there are other ones that are like, hey, I don't know who it is. I don't like the design. I'm not getting it.
Right.
But
you
but
just
definitely
told
for
me that
Star Wars, there's a lot of stuff. It's weird when you start to think about it. Max Rebo, the Jedi Council stuff. A lot of the figures, a lot of the characters from Episode 1. An Episode 1 Yoda they haven't made. You know what I mean?
How about an Episode 3 Yoda? He'll fly off the shelves so fast.
Right. They've only made him Dagobah, like Yoda, right?
Yeah.
Am I wrong? I mean, that's like a no-brainer, and instead they're giving us, just weird stuff.
So wait. You just told me, it was you who just said that the Sprite figure looked cool, right? That was coming from this corner of the thing. Like I did hear that properly.
Oh, geez. All right. I gotta go, guys. All right.
Yeah. So you're telling me that some dude who's in Hydra, who's been in fucking 3 comics with a full snake head or a melting skull, you're not going to think that's cool? Of course you are.
I will. I'll buy that too. So look at this room. Look, I'm buying everything.
Exactly. So again, just make good looking figures. Yeah. Like that's all you have to do. And they're not. Like, how stupid is that? They're not.
But this is figure arts.
That's the figure arts one. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. I didn't even know that existed. That's nice.
Yeah, and he comes with like a thing where you can sit in the little chair and different head sculpts. It's a beautiful figure, but I mean,
that's nice.
Why haven't we gotten this in Black Series? I don't
like
get it.
It's a great mystery. So like God only knows. I bet they will, since they're doing this half-assed anniversary thing. I bet they'll announce that one this year. I bet they will. That's beautiful, though. I really didn't know that it's existed. I might even, if May passes
it down. I don't know if they're still available, Dave. Do you have this one? You must have this guy, right?
I do have that one. Yeah, it's about $100 figure. Yeah,
that's fine. Yeah. If they have not announced that by Star Wars Celebration, I will buy that one.
But I think he's got 3 heads, and then his lower torso switches to like a cross-legged thing where he can sit in the chair, in the Jedi Council chair.
Perfect.
So yeah, it's
Gimme.
fun.
Dave, back to your points about Steve. I was just thinking, you were asking about the Advocate. I would like, if Steve could kind of fill us in a little bit about what his role is and what power he has. Or is it just, is there anything to it? Like, that's another question.
True.
Like, is this just a PR move that it sounds like now they're giving, some attention to the adult collectors? Because does he have any leverage with his partners, his Lucasfilm and his Marvel friends?
All right.
Or is it just a Hasbro thing,
So again, just we'll use common sense. So Cox said publicly somewhere in one of his interviews not that long ago that I think he said like 60% of Hasbro's total business was adults. So there's that. They are paying attention in that regard, right? So this change from getting Patrick, who we all hated, off of Star Wars was a great idea. Yeah. Now you move Stevie again, and call him and say that his title has, adult collector in it. It's all good signs. We'll put it that way,
But they have to make the case to Disney and Marvel and Lucasfilm that, because those guys want retail figures in the toy aisle.
Yep.
And Hasbro's saying we need to sell to this other group. It's not at Disney yet. Disney doesn't have a fan collector or adult collector person yet. Nope. So I think we need to temper our expectations and maybe be helpful for Steve to kind of give us, the community, maybe 3 months in, 6 months in. How's it going, Steve, with your new role? Is it making any traction? I'd be interested to hear that.
Indeed. I would love to know.
They have to do something big, though, to energize the Star Wars 6-inch community, I think. There's got to be something new, whether it's, like I was saying, some small play sets or something, or a ship, or
well, I think a commitment to the figures that we want, just like the TBC crowd is yelling for their figures. Like, just give us a commitment. You're going to finish.
Is there one figure that everyone's going to stand up and be like, yeah, I don't know.
No, because there's a broad range of Black Series collectors, but if you pick each movie and pick 3 characters from each of the main movies, even the prequels, you're going to get a Revenge of the Sith Anakin. You're going to get a Yoda. You're going to get a Palpatine. If they could commit to these instead of pipelining all the stuff that we don't really want,
I asked this earlier, so I'll ask both of you, and I'll give you both examples for what you collect. So would you pay if Steve came out and said, we're going to make all of the Cantina aliens, they're going to be available only online. You can pre-order them for this period of time, like this month, like this made to order, like they've been doing for some things now. We're going to do that. They're all $35. I guarantee you we make every single one of them. Are you in?
Yes.
35. I heard your question on 35, man. I don't know.
You're going to question that?
Snaggletooth, and I want the Cantina, but $35.
35, and they're all perfect. They're all.
I wouldn't say that. That would just give Hasbro. They're going to go, yep, $35 now. I don't know, man. I would seriously back off if they hit 35, at least right now. Maybe 10 years
hold on.
now, 35.
Not that all of the figures are 35. Just this made to order. We're going to make a limited run.
So how many are there? 20 of them?
There's
maybe?
a shitload of them. Yeah, there's a lot.
30.
Yeah.
There's a lot. What's that times 35?
Well, sure, but they make them over a couple of years.
But you're not going to get
else with them. Are they deluxe where I get like extra hands and heads and stuff? If they threw in an extra head and extra hands like that Yoda and stuff, I'd be there all day.
Fine. Extra head.
Maybe that bumps
for any
to
character that needed it.
Yeah.
For any character that needed. All right, Marvel collector. How about they do that with the Serpent Society? You in for that?
I'm not that much of a completionist, but you could get me with a team.
You could get you with a team.
And I do think it goes back to my question for you earlier, is if you give me everything and it's perfect, and I'm going to add this just because Chris mentioned it before and you guys have talked about it. I know that I'm not going to have the regret of paying $35 because it's going to be $10 at Target on clearance.
Exactly.
I'm going to sit there and say, yes, this is important to me and back that. I'm already doing it with Mythic Legion. 35 for what I really want and I don't have to worry about. Not that bad.
Not that bad. And I mean, there's the added that's going to be way worth far more in
Steve,
the
they
long
meant
run.
25. They meant
What?
25, Steve. He misspoke. He meant 25.
See, again, like, is it like, so back to like the price from before, like 25 for so much of what we get is outrageous. And
Yeah.
that is why, if like what you said several times, if they don't do something to energize the community, like it's not even worth carrying on.
And again, I would do 35 if they packed more stuff in. Like I said, I buy premium stuff all the time. I got a ton of Mafex, but they come with 3 heads and 20 hands and wired capes and super articulated and all this extra stuff and like another tray that's full of all kinds of weapons and guns and a giant laser.
They're never going to do. Yeah, they're never going to do that. Like,
right,
so
but that's the extreme. But if you're at 35 now, at least throw in, you know, an extra head and some hands. And they did it with that Shang-Chi. Remember, Shang-Chi came with like 10 sets of hands.
I love that woman.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
And
So
like, and so now I love that figure. Like, it is so beautiful.
This is Thrace from the Poxus wave of Mythic Legions. Now I understand this isn't licensed, so there's a whole thing that goes along with it. But this is not even everything she comes with. There's an alternate head. She's not wearing her pauldrons. She's got like 8 different looks. You can take off the soft goods. You can leave on the soft goods. You've got magic effects that are not being shown here. And all of that was $37.
Yep.
Yeah.
37 because you ordered right from them. So if you're late, then you pay 50.
But even so, like you wait for a show, it's 40. There's people on eBay and sorry, I'm going to backtrack to a comment with Nerd Zoic earlier. Part of the reason that like we're seeing compression in the Legions market because there's so many approved retailers now. Yeah. Like, I hate to spoil the dirty secret, but there's retailers who are selling below the MAP price. Like,
and you didn't mention the paint apps too on that. There's tons of paint apps on these, like the little buttons and everything, and
This is for anyone who collects. If you're not collecting Legions right now, a $37 figure is like, you sit there and you're like, I don't know what it is, but you get it in hand and you're like, holy crap, I can see and feel the quality on this. And so I get it licensed. And even if, I'll go back to Dave's point, even if that thing of like, if it's not the Serpent Society, but it's, you know, the best X Factor team I'm going to get, I'll pay $45 for it a piece. Like, if I have to deal with the license. And I think, to Chris's point, if it comes with a bunch of different things, like, you know, I'm getting Guido with a shirtless torso and a regular torso, like, you know, so you can do like the whole beach scene, whatever. I think that goes back to my point of, I'd be willing to commit to a more premium piece if I know I'm not going to get in the rear end later on.
Fair enough.
And do you think they'd save money by doing 3-packs like those X-Men 3-packs they did? You know, if you did that with Star Wars, like a Cantina series, where, you know, is it cheaper to do that? Maybe, I don't know. I'm just thinking of things that Steve could push out there.
I don't think it is, but I don't know. I don't know if it's cheaper or not. It's a good question.
They're trying a 3-pack soon. You know, the Jedi Fallen Order video game. You know, that's coming out with 3 Star Wars Black Series.
Oh yeah, that one's gonna do great. That's gonna sell like wild.
Is this the lightning effects and all that's like really super expensive?
No, that's a different one, but yeah,
that's on clearance right now on Pulse.
Yeah, it's on clearance, 77. Yeah. So now you could buy it.
77.
Oh, look who just popped into our little chat here. You're still up with us, Steve.
Do you have your pants on, Steve?
Happy birthday. Yesterday was his birthday, right?
Oh, yes. Happy birthday, sir.
Happy birthday, Steve.
He's a good man.
Thanks for listening.
He really is. Like, there's no question about it. Steve is a good dude. Like, you can't say anything bad about him. You just can't.
Oh, I can. He stopped making some of his spilt milk toys. I was enjoying collecting those, and he stopped. And so I'm a teacher now, and I've got the 4 hanging in my classroom that I bought from each of the different lines. And like, I need more. And he's leaving me wanting.
Well, all right, we'll give you that one.
Obviously, I'm kidding. Steve is great.
The savior of the Black Series. Save us, Steve. Save us.
No, Steve is a good dude. There's just no question about it. It was when you think of just like, who else at Hasbro was going to even offer what he offered? Like, give me feedback. Who else does that?
Steve, I really hope there's someone.
Must be a British phrase, right? Are you wearing your trousers?
Oh, he's wearing pants.
Oh no,
today.
you missed Steve's pantless pic he shared
Pants are
from when he was
still
a kid.
overrated, sir.
Jeez.
Yeah.
But I going back to and not to pump Steve's tires here, because I think we really genuinely all agree. If you've met Steve or had any conversations with him, he is a genuinely good person, and he is a fan. So I know Dave, you brought up the comment earlier about the new management that was brought in from a tier of retail that doesn't match toys, and they're unlikely to share the passion that someone like Steve does.
Unlikely.
Well, I'm saying broad speaking. I'm not, this specific person is highly dubious.
Okay.
But no, like it's good to have someone in Steve's role that has that passion. But he's also, and I understand too, he's got to balance the business with the passion.
Sure. That's the thing, though. I think balancing. I think if you go more towards the passion, you up the business at this point. I really do. It's the soulless crap that comes out that really nobody wants. That's the problem. You can't push product anymore. They're not pushing stuff on us. It's not working.
Well, you
Throw
can
that
push
out.
stuff
Like,
on-
seriously.
on-
You want to talk about something that should be burned? That is number one on the list.
You want to burn a witch?
I look what I'm wearing. I'm wearing my Salem shirt right here, so Black Craft coat. So no, I don't.
Dave,
but that one I will.
They can push product on certain people, but the fan collector community, you can't push it on this community anymore. That's the thing. It's
Who else is there? Who else is actually
they
buying?
can push product on Walmart or Target, or other exclusive, their retailer partners, right?
Right, but again, how is that going to up the business?
Yeah.
You have
It's
to
not.
assume some of it's a gamble, though, like that Agatha Harkness figure, right? Like, they don't know what the character is going to be. They don't know what the show's going to be. And, after The Mandalorian, who knows? If that show came out and, Agatha Harkness was this runaway hit, funny, hilarious character, and everyone's doing memes of her and talking about it, and then they don't have any on the shelf, but then it could go the opposite way, where she's kind of, she's there, but there's nothing super exciting about her. I think The Mandalorian is a perfect example. It did really well, but it did amazingly well. I don't think everybody realized how well it was going to do.
Oh, I gotta this too. You go first.
One reason that The Mandalorian did as well as it did was a small anthropomorphic creature that could be sold to all ages. That is,
Yep.
I love The Mandalorian, but it's and as a non-Star Wars fan, I think it would still have been a hit, but not nearly to the degree that it was.
Sure, I agree with that as well. Now, when you think so let me ask you this: do you think that the shows themselves sell action figures?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Mandalorian definitely, but Mandalorian
He's
could have
right.
flopped though, because there could have been a backlash that people were like, "Hey, wait a minute, this isn't Boba Fett. Where's Boba? We want Boba. This is some knockoff Boba Fett character," but it didn't. It definitely could have gone down that path if the writing was bad and
Hear me out.
didn't have Grogu, but the show definitely. I mean, it's selling these, all this stuff, like crazy. But again, they didn't have this product on the shelf till a year later. What
Sure.
Grogu stuff did they have when that show came out? Everyone's like, Grogu.
Nothing.
I literally bought a 3D printed Grogu figure in 1/12 scale online for $30 from some dude. And it was all sticky because he was
Right.
printing them out so fast.
Right.
It hadn't cured.
Right.
And you couldn't get a Grogu for at least a year.
Listen now though. What figure from The Mandalorian sold well other than Mando and Grogu, and even then only the early releases or this new one who was actually very good? What other character from those shows sold amazing?
Well, the Gina Carano one goes for $7
Sure
now.
That's what I was going to say, but
Besides her, because there are reasons for that, sure. Besides her.
I don't know what point you're trying to get to, Dave, but yeah, Paz Vizsla, with the first release of that one, he dropped perfect timing 2 weeks after the episode. Was a great figure. That was a great one from the show. I bought that because I saw him on the show and he was awesome.
Yeah, the Paz Vizsla is excellent.
Now he's been released 4 other times, which sucks, but the first release that was awesome.
as the worst Star Wars fan in this group, I'm going to say that the other thing that makes anything from Mandalorian an outlier are masks.
Sure.
It's the stormtroopers, it's Boba, it is not a faced character.
Because the dirty stormtroopers from Mandalorian sold really well too, right? The
we love army builders. So
I have a couple of those, but I had trouble finding those
because it was a Target exclusive. So I mean, which was dumb. Like they made an army builder a Target exclusive. How dumb was that? So
Tracksuit Mafia. Sorry.
Oh God, yeah, them too. So of all the figures
that disappeared,
more than half of them are on clearance. Like more than half of them are still readily available. So does it sell figures? The answer is somewhere in the middle. Like yes and no. It doesn't sell just because it's on TV, which I think is what Disney thinks. I think they think, oh, the client is great. Let's make a figure of it. When really the client is an old man. And that's all he is. Like he's just an action figure of an old man. Now we're going to get the exact price of what the client is currently on Amazon. Let's see. Star Wars Black.
While you're looking that up,
Client.
Yes, someone at Disney or Lucasfilm and someone at Hasbro thinks that figures from the new media sell well because they keep pumping them out.
$9.29.
And maybe
$9. $9.
$9.
How about the Grief Kargas? Have those gone since Carl Weathers passed away?
I don't think so.
I feel like they've disappeared because there were a bunch of them around, and now I'm not seeing them. I didn't know if the Carl Weathers thing.
GameStop still had a couple just a few days ago.
Oh, really?
On their clearance rack, the credit collection ones. The regular figure might be gone.
Oh, the credit. Yeah, I wasn't into the credit collection stuff. Nope. That to me was a misfire. I thought. I don't know. The coloration on those was just.
So they're gonna sell out soon. So the good one, the Magistrate one, is $15.15. There's only 3 left, and the older one is $23.36. They're gonna sell out soon. That's Grief Karga.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but how long ago did they make those figures?
Right.
A while ago.
Yeah, they've been on the pegs for a long time.
Yeah.
Let's just revisit Steve's good night message here real quick.
I have to kill a bug in my daughter's room. Give me 1 minute. You guys keep talking.
Okay. Got a long road ahead of me. I know where I want to take us, and I'm going to ride it. That's a promise. I think, Chris, you and I, we've talked with Steve. We know that, Jeremy, genuine guy, as far as that goes. I truly believe what he's saying. He's probably in real tough circumstance, right? He's got a new role and he's got a big upward hill to fight, I think. And I don't know. I do wish him the best,
All due respect to what Dave said of how he would like to walk into the boardroom and behave that way. It's like, I get it. I get it as a passionate fan, but you've got to play all parts of the field. And that includes the corporate game as well. And the mouse is still a bigger company than Hasbro. Sure. And, the one thing that, like, when we were talking about Hasbro still makes the best figures. Well, if they want to push merchandise, anyone can make a 5-point, right? Like they could take, I don't know the breakdowns of Legends versus anything else, but like, if you think about what kids are buying, or parents are buying for their kids, which is a shrinking age gap, which, the company has to go against. Maybe Steve doesn't have to worry about it. It's just going to be like your basic 12-inch, 11-inch, 10-inch, 5-point, whatever, because the kids they're okay with a bigger action figure. They're not looking for 22 to 36 points of articulation and choking hazards and things like that. So I think Steve has a lot of options, but he's between a rock and a hard place with all the things that we've talked about.
Yeah. And I was thinking that, Steve, some information that would be great for you to share is just to share with us how limited your role is, so we don't over-expect from you. Because we're just going to go crazy thinking that you're going to be our Superman and save everybody. So when you make comments back to the community, just kind of help temper our expectations of what your abilities are I think that'd be helpful too.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, I think Star Wars just needs a boost of excitement somehow, and
yeah,
I think they have to come up with something, because it's been, what was it? Hasn't it been 10 years now since they started the 6-inch Black Series? Wasn't that the anniversary?
Yeah, just past the 10-year anniversary. Yep.
So they've got to do something, or even use that, the 10-year anniversary, and plop something on the table that's exciting. And like I said, I mean, at least from my perspective, something like a playset type of thing that I can put the figures in, or that comes with some figures. If you're going to re-release Han Solo and Chewbacca, give me the Millennium Falcon cockpit, or the Millennium Falcon, interior, as a little playset in 1/12 scale, or give me the trash compactor in 1/12 scale. Give me, something, Emperor's Throne Room in 1/12, nice thing that I could put up on a shelf that would fill it up with the big window in the back, and and you already have the chair, so re-release that and put him in there with the window and the stairs, and I can put the guards around him. But otherwise, just I can't think of any one figure that's going to super excite the collectors, at least on the Star Wars side.
Well, I have some ideas on that. I think the spectrum of adult fan collectors now includes people in their 30s and their 20s. So people that are into Revenge of the Sith and Attack of the Clones and the prequels and all that. So I think it would energize the line if they did a focus on each kind of generation of Star Wars, and they pipelined some of the key figures that everybody's been wanting, because there are some key figures in the line from the original trilogy and from the prequels, even the sequels. There's some sequels collectors out there too, and the Clone Wars and all this stuff. So I just think if they tried to pander directly to the adult collector fans that aren't after new media, and if they had a segment of the line that was dedicated to not being Disney new media,
they could do a wave.
That would kind of excite me.
They could do a wave of just Padme.
But that's still, I've thought of that too, where she's in the big red dress, where she's like a traffic cone. I mean, we would buy it, but would she peg warm though too? She's not really an action figure, like you said earlier, Jersey. And you were saying, Dave, too, about some of the stuff from the Andor series there that were kind of like traffic cones, like the Mon Mothma. That was a traffic cone. She didn't come with anything. You couldn't really pose her. She looked great. She looked like a character, but it was just a statue.
So even the problem with Padme in the big there, you got all the feedback now.
Oh, sorry. Let me mute myself. You guys keep going.
That's going to be a deluxe figure. That would be the problem.
The big dress with the head thing.
Yeah, like
deluxe?
They're going to make it deluxe. Like they can't help themselves. Right. So like, will it sell in that? If it's a regular figure, will it sell? Yeah, probably. And even as a deluxe figure, like I still would want that, but would it sell? That's a tough call.
Yeah, because she's not an army builder.
No.
And she's not, doesn't really have any action thing, but I think all the collectors would buy one, right? Everyone will want that figure.
Right. She has enough cool, like where it'll stand out on a shelf. It's not an undesirable thing.
Yeah. So I have a Jason question, because I was not a Indiana Jones collector. How did you guys feel about the waves coming out, crossing over from the movies? Because from a business perspective, if you dedicate to one line, to Dave's point, dedicating more to the sequels, like a whole wave to the sequels, eliminates a lot of older collectors or people who want just like the traditional. Like, so are we okay if they throw in there's one from 1, and there's one from 2, and there's one from 3, and there's one from 4, and there's one from 5, and there's one from 6, and that's a wave?
Yeah, if it's a figure of 8 or a figure of 6, or a wave of 6 or 8, then
your microphone's really garbled, Dave.
You're garbled.
My headphones are going. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, Chris, you talk.
So I was gonna say,
You're like looking up at Dave.
yeah, getting back to Padme there.
So that the crossing of waves. So in Indiana Jones, it was terrible because we didn't want figures from the new movie. Like we wanted old stuff from the original trilogy, basically. They didn't even make anything from the Crystal Skull because they just figured, well, everyone hates that one. Let's just not. And even such, if they, you know what, they couldn't make a wave from the Crystal Skull. Never mind. I was going to say they could have made it and it would have sold. No, it wouldn't. Who am I kidding?
What was the kid's name in that? His
Shia
son.
LaBeouf?
I was going to say.
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf. We didn't get a Shia LaBeouf figure?
Yeah, that's not.
I know. Going back to Padme, will they ever make a pregnant Padme?
Oh, probably
They did in the original. They did in the 3 3/4 inch. They made the pregnant.
They did, but probably not. How many Padmes do you want? You want a lot of Padmes.
I just want this. I just like this one, actually, that they already made. I think this is a good figure.
I agree. I think that one's the only one they really needed to make.
Right. This is kind of the quintessential one. Because what's the other one where she's in like the purple dress in the palace or something with the gun? I don't know what else you would do. And then, like I said, the ceremonial one. You know, everybody I think wants the big red ceremonial one.
I still think they'd make that deluxe, which would hinder its sales. I do. They would have to make a real low number of them to really say we're going to make a real low number of these. So get your pre-order in now. Like they'd have to really create the demand to get that going.
But again, if you were talking about, that subscription style thing, right? If you don't want to put it out on the shelves, I think enough people would pay for it.
Subscription style is rougher because anyone who was alive for the Night Lickers bullshit with those subscriptions, like no one thinks positively of those. Right.
And I don't mean it like that, but I mean to your point of like, yes, we're going to release this wave, but it's going to be $35 a figure. Yeah. You're not committing to it as a subscription, but like you're basically saying, yeah, okay, I'm in it for the haul.
Yes. Okay. So something like that. Yes. I think that would work way better than, especially because oh, you know what? We're not even going to talk about the Night Licker. Like, forget it. I hate that guy so much. He's so brutal. They kicked him off YouTube. Did you see that?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
The Toy Guru, Spectre Creative.
I don't know.
How do you not know?
Maybe I did.
Wait. You guys didn't collect like DC Universe Classics and Masters of the Universe Classics? You guys have none of those?
I got them all. They're all right in front of me. Yeah.
Well, there you go. He was the dude who made those. That really annoying guy with the glasses who was head of toys for Mattel for all those years.
I don't know.
Wow, that's impressive. Wow. You know who the Night Licker is, right?
No, now you're muted. You're on mute.
Now you're muted.
It's Dave's feed, and he's just like,
Sorry, I had a bathroom break, and I needed one.
You sound like in Star Wars when they talk to you over like a comm.
Yeah, my settings got screwed up. I was using my headphones.
Look, your computer. You turned off your computer.
Oh well.
That's a little better. I'm now I still hear myself. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Let me try this one more time.
Because I want to know who you think is key from the original trilogy that they haven't made. Like I can't think of any key characters. I can only think of background characters.
Oh, from original trilogy?
Yeah.
I'm thinking Jedi Council.
Original trilogy. That's not original.
Oh, not original trilogy. I'm sorry. Jeez,
I was going to say, if we're talking prequels, there's a shit ton. So they've barely made anything from the prequels.
Oh, original trilogy stuff? Well, the Cantina stuff we talked about, right?
Right.
Dave, here you go. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
9 Num, right?
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay.
Yeah.
Lobot.
All right.
Yep.
Bespin Guard.
Yeah. Captain Antilles.
Bespin Guard.
Captain Antilles.
Yep.
Bespin Guard. You think Bespin Guards would sell? Like
yeah.
That's
Twin pod cloud car pilot.
Yeah, that's less. But
these are
Lobot's a big one.
Lobot's a good one. Yep.
I'm down for a few more. Even just some Jabba Skiff Guard guys, just a Nikto or any.
I would say, you know what? I'd say the Weequay is big enough where that one would sell. So yeah, all right.
Oh, and the band, what's his name? Max Rebo.
The band isn't
Yep.
bad either. Yeah, the
They
band
should do
really isn't
those.
bad.
Max Rebo, Size Snoodles. But Size Snoodles was added in the was she part of the original trilogy, or was she added in the
Yeah,
when
she was part of
Lucas-
the original.
She
Yeah.
was in the original. They added the dude, that weird
Yeah.
dude.
they added the dancers, the 3 dancers, right?
Them
The
too,
girls.
but yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's
you're
not
right.
bad. That's a couple. Yeah.
An 8-pack
You're
of
right.
assorted Ewoks and an 8-pack of assorted Jawa.
You watch
Assorted.
yeah. Some more droids. We
Sorry,
could use
before
a
you
couple
guys-
more droids.
Before you guys dig it much deeper, I have to split. So thank you so much for letting me join in, but I've got to go.
Thanks for coming, sir.
All right,
Pleasure.
Jeremy. It
See you,
was
Jeremy.
great. Thanks.
Take care,
All right.
guys.
So those aren't bad. Those are all actually decent choices. I
Yeah.
was thinking the original trilogy was pretty much dead, but no, there's a couple left. That's not bad. Yeah. See, again, I'll buy that in an Animan. I'll buy that in a second, but it's a background character.
Bespin
Oh.
Gown Leia, that she should be made. They should
Dude,
make
they've
her.
made so many Leias already. Like
I
so
They should
many.
make
Bespin
a
Leia.
they should make a play set of the dining room from Bespin where Darth Vader's in there.
That's
the
not
table.
bad either. Like that's at least like that's not
You put
terrible.
him at the table and you got all the figures around.
How
Yeah,
has
they can-
Land Speeder Luke not been all over that yet? That's not one I've seen. So that's a good
The
one.
dining room.
Yeah, that's not bad.
They
Yeah, Snaggletooth. But he's a cantina. Everybody in the cantina. They made the band. We have the cantina band.
Yeah, which is very nice. I love having that whole band. And I mean, I don't even know why, but I had to buy like all of them. I got like up to 7 just to have them all. So
yeah, I guess we're not that far off from the original trilogy, but
No,
there's
not
another
that-
dozen figures or so.
Yeah, the prequels, forget it. We could go on
Yeah.
prequels, Clone Wars, forget it. And that is
There's a
that is
lot.
really what I want. I like my basic wants right now. Like if I like you said, like what would be my top 5 wants? They would all be Sith or Jedi.
Yeah.
Give me all of those, and we had them all in 3 3/4. Like, how did we go so far from? How do you say that big thing's name? Efont Man? Is that how you say it?
Mhm.
That thing was a giant piece of plastic that like you could throw at your friend and it might kill them. They charge
just got
regular.
mine.
That's right. Like so that's not even it. That's
my retro.
That's a
my
retro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
my
retro.
God. So the one they made in the Saga line was even bigger
yeah.
than that.
Huge, yeah.
Huge. They put
Yeah.
that fucking thing out once. They made a full mold, regular retail price, none of this deluxe bullshit, and put it out only once. How did we get so far from that now, where every new piece and every new mold has to come out 3 times, sometimes way too close to each other, and they don't make nearly as many new parts? Like if you told them make an Efont Man now, they'd be like, well, that'll run you like $70 or $80. That's a lot of plastic and the tooling and the deco and the paint. Get out of here, man. Like, come on.
On that point, that's the only reason we got Hammerhead, right? Because Disney had Disney parks and they could put tooling into a budget for Galaxy's Edge because it was a Galaxy's Edge item.
Yep.
That's the only reason we
reason.
have Hammerhead. It's sad that way.
And I'll shit in my hat and eat it if we don't get the mayor from Boba Fett now, too. Just because he's already made, you know?
Yeah.
We need Cliff Clavin in his Hoth uniform.
Ooh, there you go.
Clavin.
A couple more swappable heads.
Of all the movies, Empire has been covered the most. Like we even had it's basically down to Lobot.
Except for some of those Bespin figures.
Yeah, I don't.
Bespin Guard,
I don't know if those Bespin guards would be a seller. That is a tough. Even if you you put 2 heads with it, one black guy, one white guy, like it.
The guy with the ice cream maker. We have the ice cream maker. We don't have the guy running with it.
Yeah, you're right.
Right?
Use the
Ice cream maker
Cantona,
guy.
And then
it's a tough one. I don't know. That's
they could take the ice cream guy in his jumpsuit and repaint him for Andor, for the prisoners in Andor.
Oh my God!
As a plumber,
oh my God.
Put Andor plumbing supply on his jumpsuit.
You know what sucks too? I think nowadays, whenever this is part of the whole hobby that really blows. Right now, like when we are thinking, what should they make or what could they make? We also have to think, well, they could repaint it like this as well. And that's really unfortunate, you know?
We're trying, yeah.
Right? Like it's because like someone will say, like, so do you guys follow X-Men Legends on Instagram? He's a
I
great
don't know.
he's a great dude. He's making another page which is just X characters, and they put up Haven. Do you know who Haven is?
No. Who's Haven?
Good Lord. All right. Well, Haven
I'm
is
Googling.
I was gonna say Google Marvel Haven. She
Okay.
is guy. I'll wait a second.
I don't know this character. Sorry.
Okay, but you see it though. That's what's most
Yeah,
important.
I see it. Yeah.
Right. So she'd be basically all new, and there's not a thing you could do to reuse those parts. She's got the hair, she's got the boots, she's got the gold, everything on her body, and she's not a big character. Would people like me in X-Men Legends want it? Fuck yeah, I'd buy. Yeah, she's awesome. Look at her. Look at that hair. Fantastic.
I'd buy it.
Yep. And so, but is she a big enough character to sell a lot? They couldn't reuse anything, and it's an all new tooling. So, like, what I said to him is, we're never getting that because they can't reuse it. That sucks. Like, that's a real shitty part of the hobby where it's, I know I'm not going to get something I want because of the current state of reuse and repaint and everything. Like, you can't release it again because you'd be lucky to sell it enough the first time. So it sucks. It's just something that really sucks.
So here's a crazy idea I had, actually. I was, after Steve got, his job where he got added back to Star Wars, I was thinking of other things you could do with these figures. So with Mythic Legions, everybody does the pop and swaps, right? The big thing with Mythic Legions, you could take them all apart. What if Hasbro switched to that concept and made Marvel Legends, Star Wars, and G.I. Joe so that you could pop and swap and take a G.I. Joe character's legs with a Star Wars character's torso and a Marvel Legends arms and head and mix them up and make your own characters like that across the brands.
That would be.
I did that for preschoolers.
That would be cool, though. No, but for our scale, though, say, hey, going forward, all of our figures are going to be pop and swappable. And you could take a Marvel Legends and mix it with 3 other Marvel Legends, or you can mix it with a G.I. Joe figure and take the hands and arms from Duke and put them on with the legs from Silver Surfer and come up with your own creative characters. I was saving that idea just
to be
for Steve. That's not $1 million idea. That's $1 billion idea.
$1 billion ideas.
I only do
I
$1
don't
billion
think they're
ideas,
allowed
guys.
to do that.
$1 million. Why not?
That's a good one. I don't think they're allowed to do. I think there's a reason. I think there's a reason why Legends bodies are different than Black Series bodies are different than Joe bodies. I think there is like a contractual like license agreement reason. I'm not sure, but I think that there is. So I don't know if they could do that. They could do it within one line.
But with Mythic Legions, that's the draw for me. And now with Cosmic and Mythic, you see what they're doing. People are taking Cosmic stuff and mixing it with Mythic, right? And making really cool characters,
a skeleton spaceman, right.
Yeah. But even if they just said, okay, we'll just do it with Marvel Legends, you know what I mean? I mean, as a kid or as a collector, that'd be fun to take, like you said, Jersey, you have a character like that, and now I can use the arms from that woman and her head and hair and put it on a different torso and legs.
Yeah.
I mean, it would really open up the hobby to, okay, now I need that character, not because I know who it is, but I love the torso and the legs, and I'm going to put that with Cyclops' head, and it just would add a whole creativity piece to it and just open up a whole new world to people.
It would.
Yeah.
That's not the worst idea I've ever heard. I think they could do that within lines. I think they could do it within lines. I don't think they could cross all 3. I don't think they would be legally allowed, but they could do it within the lines. And that would be cool. That'd be especially cool for Joes. Like you could you could create your own army builder Joe that way. Like that would be cool.
Yeah, your own soldiers.
Yeah, he's right. We're fucked.
Oh, what? Too much of a choking hazard.
He's right though. Too much of a choking hazard. He's right.
Oh my God.
I don't. Yeah, he's probably right. They'll be like a kid will have it in his mouth and couldn't mark them as toys. He's right.
Yeah,
He's
swap
right.
and swap. Yeah,
He's right.
well, it'd be
Your
fine for an
billion-dollar
adult
idea is
line.
ruined. He's right.
An adult collector line,
They're
it would
just
make
adult
sense. Like,
collectors.
but
and
they're
just an adult line like
but
that,
they're
and you
never
start
gonna-
redoing the figures. I don't know. I think it would be cool, even for Marvel Legends. You do it on Pulse, then you say these are adult 15 and over, just like, you know, and you start redoing it. You have Captain America and Iron Man. You could re-release them all,
I'm cool
but
with
under
it.
new
I mean,
tooling where all the parts pop off, and I can use. I don't know.
we
They
just
could
said we
work.
weren't going to start over our collections if they change something.
it's
But at some
definitely
point,
not
you
the
have
worst
to. I
idea.
mean, there's going to be, you know, at some point, you're going to go through that Marvel Handbook of the Universe, and they're going to have made every figure, right? I mean, in 10 years from now.
Hey, Jeremy wants to remind you all of the quote of the night.
Oh, jeez, not a sex toy. This
There you
toy.
is
go.
not a sex toy. if you needed to know.
Well, guys, I
So
got to
I
wrap this up.
asked-
I'm getting
I
kinda
asked Jim the
tired,
first
but-
time I met Jim from the Four
Yeah.
Horsemen. One more
Go
thing.
ahead, Dave,
One more
finish up.
thing. So I
Yeah, I
asked
just
Jim
wanna-
from the Four
yeah.
Horsemen. I said, why can't you guys make the DC line? Like McFarlane's doing a terrible job. You guys should be in charge of it again. He said, we are never doing licensed stuff again. There is a 0% chance. Like, you think we're dealing with that headache again right now? We're doing whatever we want. We're making our great stuff, doing our own thing. No one's telling us what to do. So
Yeah.
that goes a long way in showing you like how bad a license agreement is and how controlling it is and just how shitty it is.
Yeah. Good point.
Good talking to you guys, though. You guys are great.
Yeah, you too,
Yeah,
man.
this was a lot of fun. A lot of fun tonight.
Yeah, a lot of
It
good
really
ideas.
was.
Like it.
All right, well, let's wrap it up there.
And you said we should
thank you
script
all.
it. Like we need a script.
I never said scripted. I said we should talk to each other so we're not complete strangers before we start. But
I've been reading from a script the entire time. Hold on. It says here, thank you, Dave and Dave.
and David
There
in
you
the
go.
UK is still awake with us. Jeez, 3 hours later. 5 a.m. for you, man, or 4 a.m. All right, yeah. Well, we'll wrap this up. Thank you, Dave, Chris,
Hold on.
Jeremy, everybody
Hold on.
else.
Okay, hold on. One more thing.
Hold on, what? One more thing.
There we
One
go.
more thing.
Gotta do your vaping, yeah.
A little more steam.
At least I quit smoking. At least I quit smoking, dude. You know, like it's still hard, but
I bet it is. All right,
All right, guys.
we'll see you guys
Good night.
online. Good night,
Take care,
everybody.
guys.
all right, bye. See you.
Good night.
All right, bye.